It's time for a little Funky Friday. From their funky hidden headquarters, your hosts, Keith and Gary. Not Jerry.
Hey guys, welcome to another TGIF with this rowdy crew of friends of mine and a special guest panelist today, none other than Nerd Cookies herself, Elaine. Not to be mistaken with Elaine from Seinfeld, who cannot dance, but I've been told that when you get happy, you dance a lot.
Well, hello everyone. I don't know about that.
Welcome.
There's
to
also
the show.
Elaine Brendahoff, so that's great being associated with that.
Oh man, Vendahoff.
Or I think that's her name. What's her name?
Oh, okay. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know what you're talking about. Sorry.
Wow, she out-nerded
Really?
Gary.
Yeah,
Really?
you just out-nerded me. I don't know who the fuck you're talking about.
Amber Heard's lawyer? No one knows? Okay,
Oh,
I get
her.
it.
No, I just called her kooky lawyer lady. I never got her name. I didn't even get what's his name's lawyer's name, the woman, or the dude. Even though they were both hilarious, they were fucking awesome. Talk about getting out-lawyered.
The amount of money they were making, jeez.
Yeah, exactly. So, welcome to the show. I can't remember. Have you been on our show before, or is this the first time?
I think I have. It's been a while, though. I think.
Yeah, because I think you were on about a year and a half ago. But turn off the fucking train. Who's ever on the show?
Probably
with the
when
train.
Dune came out, maybe.
I think it was. I think you and I talked right around that time. But either way it goes, I'm so glad to have you back.
Yeah,
I should invite you over more. But, you know, pretty girls make me nervous, so I don't care. That's, you know.
We
women,
can't see, but I'm blushing.
I'm apparently gay, according to some of the people here. Yeah, if you hadn't heard, I'm sort of gay. I have proof of it. Hold on, let me show you my audio avatar. Here it is. Boom. I am gay for this show. There we go. And Keith, absolutely, you're doing an obscene phone call right now, right into the fucking show. You're like,
Hold on.
Move away from me.
Hey guys, I'm doing black.
It's not like we're new to this. We've been doing this for 3 fucking years. Do you notice how mean I am to my friends, Elaine?
Who said we're friends?
And I like them being mean back to me. It's just, I don't know. It's a military thing. So, we've had some interesting news this year. And the biggest news, in my opinion, is a casting coup by announcing that Christopher Walken is going to be playing the Emperor. And I'm like, what the shit? You're fucking with me when I first saw it. And I'm like, holy crap. And I'm running around. And I think the next day you put a video out. It might have been even the same day. So I went and watched your live.
I think I just it
was the same day. It was live stream. Yeah, it was live stream.
Like, I got to react to this.
Yeah, and I'm like, holy shit, it's real. If Nerd Cookie's talking about it, it's real. It's not a joke, you know. And we all know, everybody on this show, including myself, are huge
Wow.
Christopher Walken fans.
I got a fever, and the only prescription is more cowbell.
And this.
Oh, yeah. You're talking to me all wrong. It's the wrong tone.
I fucking love Christopher Walken, dude.
Who doesn't?
And what a
He's
massive
awesome.
coup. Now, what are your feelings about this? Because I think he's going to bring something weird to the role, which I think is needed.
Yeah, it definitely was not anywhere close to who I thought would be considered. I thought Mads Mikkelsen, I think, was my kind of what I thought they might shoot for. He's kind of my own fan casting, I guess. That's kind of what I pictured. And so it wasn't even on my radar at all. It felt like it just completely came out of nowhere. But yeah, I'm really interested to see how he's gonna bring to that. He's he's definitely gonna have the presence to boss around Stellan Skarsgård's Baron. So, but I think he could do it. I think he could pull it off.
Yeah, and he has to have a kind of menace that comes with power, real power.
Mm-hmm.
Prince of the city.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought he would be a little bit younger. Just that's why I was surprised that. But he is that age technically in the book. He just doesn't look his age, kind of. But that's just where they're going with this
Have you ever seen him
interpretation.
when he was on Conan O'Brien and Conan asked him, like, how does he get his hair like that? And he fucking actually tells him, he says, every night before I go to bed, I grip my hair and I pull it. And I do it in chunks. And it keeps my roots very excited and growing. He fucking did this on Conan O'Brien.
You're talking to me all wrong here.
Yeah, talking to me all wrong. Mr. Tickle Trunk for the $2 Nerd Cookie super chat. Thank you, my friend. Mr. Tickle Trunk is, if we were a bar, he's Norm.
Hey, Mr. Tickle Trunk. Good to see you.
Do you know him? Do you know him?
Oh yeah, we've.
He sent us another one.
He is absolutely. I really feel like the show's not going right if I don't see him in the chat. It's just so
Tell me
weird.
about it.
I don't even know what that fucking means, Fat.
All is right.
All is right with the world. Now, in the chat, we have some wonderful people here already. We got Lord Thoth, good friend of this channel, and we love him. Deleted Scenes, who's in the show, but for some reason talks more in the chat. We've got Martin Acosta Santana, who is also in the show. He is our chat manager. Let's see who else has joined us.
And
today.
reminding you that we have another super chat of Mr. Trickle Trunk.
Oh, another one from him.
Yeah,
He's-
2 for 2.
He is throwing that Monopoly Canadian money at us. I guess the rest of you are okay too. Well, we love you, man. We do. And for you, I'm going to play that new video that you've already seen, but I'm going to play it again because I knew you liked it. This is for anybody who contributes to this show.
You're squinting like you need glasses. Well, what do you... Look at me.
What?
What I'm thinking is, you're mine. I fucking own you. But what I'm not doing is feeling one way or another about it. You see, you're not a person to me. You're an entry in my book. That's all. You're just a guy who owes me money.
I thought, what would be the meanest thing to say to anybody who contributes to this show? And that's it right there, Chili Palmer. You just note in my book, guy that owes me money. So we've got just an amazing chat. Chris, our good friend Chris is here. Chris is a close friend of mine and a filmmaker. And Dork Knight's mom is here. You better behave, Dork Knight. Your mom is here. She is awesome. Penny J or PJO.
Hey, PJ.
Kingsport Cal. One badass motherfucker right there, let me tell you.
Indeed.
And let's see who else has joined us here. Anybody else popping in? Let's see, Lord Thoth. I see everybody, and I think I've named everybody who is in the chat right now. But apparently not watching. We have 79 watching. You better fucking like the show, man. I want some thumbs up on this thing. Oh, God, I got menacing again. I got all threatening.
Wow, you're talking to me all wrong.
So this is our... See, I made this background just for you today.
We can't
Your
hear
audio
you,
sounds.
Gary.
What?
Oh, now I can hear you.
Oh, now it's okay.
Yeah, it's your guys. It's not me.
Is this thing on?
Hello. Yeah, I'm sorry. I need to be more like Keith.
So, how's the show going?
I'm sure that reminds some of you of bad night phone calls that you got. I'm not a girl. Stop calling me.
I'm okay with that.
Again, I only did that one time.
Well,
One
no,
time. That's all.
You know.
Allegedly.
Yeah. The only thing you've ever been convicted of is bad sense of humor. That's it.
And porn.
Porn addiction.
This is not porn. Once again, this is not Okay, the top 2 shelves.
This is the
rest.
most you've spoken on the 2 years you've been with us, buddy.
Well, Daniel
I
must
love
be
it.
muted then, because
You get a beautiful girl. You
twice.
get a beautiful girl on the show, and all of a sudden you're like, "Hey, what's going on, man?
Hello.
What's my porn collection? Do you like my porn collection?"
Careful, those two
Steve.
cases are stuck
Now
together.
I'm going to tell you,
High anxiety.
beautiful women are not strange to this show. My daughter was on last week, as was Sarah Frazetta, Frank Frazetta's daughter or granddaughter, and she's gorgeous. And I've worked with her on some comics. Because if you didn't know, that's what I do for a living. I work in the comic and film industry. Doing art. Or as Steven would say, Gary likes to draw.
I do drawings.
He does drawings.
I stay in line and get cupcake.
Yeah, I need cupcake.
Color by numbers is my favorite.
Get to the chopper.
Get to the chopper, Dylan. Dylan.
And the sad thing is, I
Dylan,
only
you
count to
son
4.
of a bitch.
I only count to 4. There's 5 numbers on the paper.
Okay.
Never filling 5.
All right, we're done derailing. This is
real.
I like to do this early on because I like to wait for everybody to get into the lobby and watching the show. So I hate it when people go, man, I missed the best part. And I'm like going, you have a rewind feature on YouTube.
Rewind?
It's not my fault you're not here to join in the chat, but you can rewind the show.
Gary.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You look at him. You can tell he's got a crush on you, nerd, because he's
No,
made his avatar.
you Gary, you were out of the loop. We used to do this to script
That's,
and everyone for years.
Yeah, I know. It's Script's body with her head. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But I would meme everyone's avatar constantly. Trust me, it's one of those known.
Your shticks are weird.
Yeah, that's what they said.
Steven is
Oh,
actually
my.
a major part of the show. He is the third host of this show.
Great,
Him,
I've upgraded.
Keith, and me. And I'm your main host because I'm an asshole. And it takes an asshole to run this show.
Talk about shit.
Gary, show everyone the monster I designed and do your lesson. No, I'm not gonna.
No.
You're not the boss of me.
Who is this?
He did a movie that has it's a very H.P. Lovecraft film, and he has a giant vagina monster.
Oh my!
It is the first thing I saw. I was like, "Oh my god, that's the labia majora, minora, and the P flaps and everything." And I'm like, "You have a vagina monster in your movie?" And he just laughed, and I'm like, "Busted."
What movie doesn't have a vagina monster in it these days?
Remember that time we were talking
Remember when
about
Geiger
Dune?
made everything look like penises and vaginas? Remember that?
Remember when we were talking about Dune?
No,
I was just
we
gonna say, are you
haven't
talking about
started.
David Lynch's Dune?
Now, I did want to talk about all of them, though, to be honest with you. And I think
Yeah.
we should start, before we get into the new stuff, I think we should just kind of go through the years. And you're also a fan of the original Dune, right?
No.
The David Lynch one?
Yeah.
I like some aspects of it. I do, and I like some performances.
When you say
as a whole,
fan,
it's not my favorite.
you mean I hated it? Yes.
I appreciate it for what it was at the time. There's a lot of things I do like, but actually, it's probably half and half. I don't know.
Well, wait, Das Wolfen is here. Das Wolfen, would you like to touch my monkey, Das Wolfen? Oh.
Jesus Christ.
Das Wolfen is our in-house kraut and also a close friend of Keith's and mine in real life. And he
Hail
has
Das
thrown in
Wolfen.
a $2 super chat saying, I'm here too. Yes, everybody notices you when you walk into the room, Das Wolfen.
You're
we
never
love
smiling.
you. And Nerd Doctor. What was that? Hold on. What did I say? Nerd Doctor. Script. No script cookies. Okay. All right. So there's no medicinal value to those cookies you make, I'm assuming.
What's going on here?
Oh my!
So let's go back to 1984, and I remember actually earlier. I think it was in '83. The word came down that the director of The Elephant Man was going to be making Dune, and I was already kind of a fan of his because I'd seen some of his weird shit when I was in fake college. meaning I was on campus in a dormitory but not going to school. I'm in the yearbook too. Figure that one out. I was not a student at William & Mary. I just hung out on campus. And while I was there, I got to hang out with some cool people, and they took me to go see a screening of some of David Lynch's stuff, and it was fucking awesome. And so then I go see Dune, and I enjoyed it. And I also have another association. I was living with the production artists for the film, Ron and Judy Miller. And she's the one who designed the original version of the ornithopter in the movie. And he did some of the paintings for it, designs. And so I was constantly hearing things during the making of the film, which was really cool. I mean, hearing stories about Carlos Rambaldi was amazing. But in the end, I knew we were in trouble when you go to the movie theater and you get handed a book to explain what you're about to see, the little pamphlet. And I'm like flipping through. I'm like, this is so cool, but what the fuck?
Did they just print the appendix?
Yes,
from
they
the
did.
book?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know if it was straight from there or they just. Yeah.
I remember walking through going, oh, this is not good.
Yeah, I had that same feeling like, why are they explaining to me what I'm about to watch?
Which is interesting because, I mean, when you read the book, you don't get to that part till the very end.
Yeah, but
then
that's
they
the thing.
those things.
That's the thing, though. You know, there are way too many people that actually don't read a lot of these books. I mean, I'm sorry, but that's the way our society is. I mean, there were still people that had never read Gone with the Wind by the time Gone with the Wind was in theaters. And you know, you still had people that had not read any of the Harry Potter books. But, you know, that happens. But still, if you need to be handed something as you're walking into the film, that is not a good sign.
When would you read it? It's dark in there.
Well, I mean, that's back when people used to show up kind of early to films and, you know, still have enough time to be able to sit down and, you know, because we were used to it from watching Star Wars.
Yeah.
So
the theater I saw it in, we didn't get a book.
We just got crayon.
Well, it was a one page front back.
Mine folded. Mine was folded when it was handed to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Ours was one page.
I got a ticket.
That's interesting that it was different.
But I do want to point out that, you know, because like I'm a big Blade Runner fan. I mean, I'm such a big fan of Blade Runner. I created the Blade Runner fan club, and it's the #1 Blade Runner site in the world since '95. And it's bladezone.com. I don't run it anymore. I turned it over to other people because I had a comic career to worry about. And Shanatsky has joined us. I'm watching you, Shanatsky. Welcome to the show, buddy. So, you know, Blade Runner is a very esoteric sci-fi film that really is a very incomplete film. It's one of the greatest flaws, but it's so beautiful and so well shot that it has been voted both by the BFI and the AFI as the single most influential film of the 20th century. And it's been borrowed from so much.
That whole cyberpunk genre.
Helped the beginning of the cyberpunk movement. But I always thought it was interesting that Dune didn't get the accolades it deserved. And because of Ron and Judy, I got invited as their +1 to dinner with David Lynch and at his ranch in Virginia. And by the way, I grew up in Fredericksburg, Virginia, so we weren't very far from where he lived. So we drove down, and right when we're getting out of the car, Ron turns to me and says, "And you can't talk about Dune."
Okay.
And I was like, I've had this happen to me twice with people. And I'm like, what? That's all I want to talk about. Is what did he really make? You know, what was, but it was absolutely, no, you didn't talk about it. He was so angry with Dino De Laurentiis for what he did that he just simply didn't want to talk about it. He's still not a big fan of talking about it, but he's at least opened up in the last couple decades to talk about his film and his vision. But any other time was with Dolph Lundgren. He was dating my Jim Woodward. He's one of the producers on our show, his sister. And so I got invited to dinner, another +1 moment. And I'm sitting there, and then like right when he comes in, my buddy Jim, the producer, co-producer of the show, goes, "You can't talk to him about Masters of the Universe. Don't bring it up." And I'm like, "It's all I want to talk about." So during the dinner, he said, that he had been studying the method. It was a method actor, and I said, "Is that what you used when you played He-Man?" Jim kicked me under the table really hard. So
told you one thing.
You had one job not to say something. But I got to tell you, David Lynch in this film, I thought he had a good vision, an interesting vision. And what I thought best of all what he was doing, and I'm curious your thoughts on this, is the way he worked the environments for each different character group.
Oh, yeah. I'd say probably the best thing that I can point to of his film was that the sets were amazing. I think that the Golden Lion throne of the Emperor and that whole Spacing Guild scene, the costumes were really well done and intricate, and so some very key performances that were really, I can't remember his name, but the Emperor, I really liked that vision for the Emperor, and
Jose Ferrer.
Yep.
Yeah.
Keith.
Yeah.
Jinx, you owe me a Coke, bitch.
Kyle MacLachlan was great as
Paul.
I thought, you could tell he researched the role too. I think he read Dune even before he was cast, so he was already a fan. And
what'd you think of Sting?
Man.
Come on.
He's my twin.
So his vision for the Harkonnens in general, I feel, was really over the top, very maniacal, and that's just how he envisioned it.
Yes.
So it's very I can't.
I think
over
the
the top.
penguin from Tim Burton's Batman Returns is related to the Harkonnens.
And it's just not. So when I read the book before I saw these adaptations, so it's just not how I visioned those characters, but it fit within how he saw it. It just wasn't but the scene is iconic. The scene is iconic, and I really like Kyle in that, and he had the presence. It was just a very different interpretation that he went with. He went very literal.
And he left
with
a lot on the floor. He really did. I mean, we didn't get to know Duncan Idaho the way we were supposed to, and he wasn't really Duncan Idaho. I got to be honest. The version we get in this new film, that's Duncan Idaho.
Oh yeah. I did a video on that too. That was one thing I hoped I did, because he's my favorite character of the series, and he's just was very neglected in the previous adaptations. So I was hoping that he would at least have more of more screen time, and they really, really did that well. I was so surprised because he is a supporting character, but he has such a significant role to play, and especially if you know the other books as well, it's no small role. It may be
I am a fan of Frank Herbert's books. I'm not a fan of his sons. I just did not like his writing. I think he even misunderstood what Frank was doing.
What, Gary? You don't believe him when he said he found the intricate notes that his father left him to make 20 other
I think he's a fucking liar is what he is.
Well, I would like to see those notes. I think that would be cool for him to publish.
Oh, no, we can't.
Yeah, we'll see that as soon as we start hearing, seeing actual evidence of threats and hate posts going against Star Wars.
Well, you see, those notes do exist, but you got to get in behind the Mona Lisa and separate the layers of both the picture and where the actual notes are.
You need to stop doing weed before the show, dude.
And Nicolas Cage will then come in with a national treasure.
Oh God, I don't know what that was about. Okay,
you had too much spice, my friend.
Too much spice melange. But
I'm a beautiful woman. Thank you.
Go ahead, Nerd Cookie. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Sometimes I get off on a tangent. I start off with a thought, and then I end up completely out of left field to what your original question.
Perfect show for it.
Most nerds are ADD. That's
I was
Oh,
trying
hey.
to answer what
we
your
are.
original question was. I think it was about Sting.
Was that my
Yeah,
cue?
you
That
gotta ask
movie
what's
is
the
just
Was he
so
cute?
campy, and it really fits the campy feel
80s.
to it. So he fit for that interpretation, for Lynch's vision.
Although I got to tell you, I really loved Linda Hunt as Shut Up Mapes. I thought, despite not really utilizing her
yeah.
in the film, she was one of the best parts of the film because I liked her character in the book, and I was like, "Oh, they got a good character. They gave her 2 scenes."
I got an important question. Which rendition of Patrick Stewart's character was better, the one from Dune or the one from Robot Chicken?
No, neither.
I don't remember
The best
Really?
Patrick
got-
Stewart
Gurney.
performance on screen was from a little vampire movie in
Life
the
Force.
80s called Life Force. When he's about to kiss Stephen Railsback, because he's possessed by the female vampire and he's about to French kiss the star of the movie. I was about losing my fucking shit watching that on a big screen. I'm like, oh my god, what am I watching? And then, yeah, that's his performance right there. He was really good.
I enjoyed him more in Excalibur.
Yeah, he's okay.
Is it really
the
sunny in
funny
there,
part-
Keith?
Say what?
Is it really
The funny
sunny in
part
that
about
room?
Patrick Stewart
Maybe.
in this movie was that the reason they cast him is they saw him on stage. Because remember, that was Halleck has hair and all this other stuff. He was wearing a wig. So it's like, oh, I remember that Patrick Stewart in theater. Let's get him because we need a mirror to replace it. Okay, good. We got Harry comes in. Bald. What happened to your hair? I'm bald.
Hey, I just noticed there's some people here that were not here a minute ago. So Mr. Angel is here. Who else did I miss? Wilson Paul is here. Not to be mistaken with Gibson Paul. And
G-Shock.
only musicians get that joke. Let's see. Who else? G-Shock is here. Yeah. And once again, Dork Knight is not talking on the show, but talking in the chat. Well done, my friend. Well done.
Wow.
Look, I get nervous around pretty ladies. I'm sorry. I'm just.
Oh, stop.
Okay.
Well, I get
Look at
nervous
that.
too. We can't both be nervous.
Yeah, yeah, you can.
I'm
I've seen blind dates go south very quickly.
Dork,
'Cause you get
Dork, I
nervous people.
Dork, I didn't know you considered me beautiful women. Now that's beautiful.
Now, who is this Hustler 3 of 4 Culture 3?
Are you
Welcome
gonna
to
have
the
a
show. I've
tryout?
never seen you
Now-
before.
It's a new
Are you now
edition.
going to fight over who is the most shy and be aggressive about it?
Don't put a YouTube avatar on, Shanatsky.
I went on a blind date once with this girl. She was early version of goth. We called them drama freaks back in the 80s. And it's all black makeup, black lipstick. And the first 20 minutes of the date was just me talking, trying to get her to say something. And all she would do is give me, not even words. She'd just go, And after 20 minutes of it, I finally said, it ended the date pretty quickly. I said, so enough about me. What's it like being dead?
Oh,
Date ended.
I
Imagine that,
reckon I
me
did it
ruining a
well.
date. What are the odds of that? I'm such a jerk. So let's get into the miniseries.
Yes.
Not too many people remember that there actually was a Dune miniseries that started, I think, in '97. The first one,
Yeah.
97.
They took
I
a
think
chance.
2000.
Yeah,
Was it 2000?
Yeah, it was like 2000.
it was when
2000.
sci-fi and space channels and all those specialty channels started coming out, and it was actually a dedicated series for one of those network channels. Yeah.
Which I thought, what I liked about it was that it took more from the book, including, keeping the part in there that Jessica is a Harkonnen.
Mm-hmm.
And they got a lot of really good stuff. But again, they collapsed and failed with Duncan, Idaho. I'm not a fan of the miniseries, either one of them, because they did more. And I thought they were too TV for me. What are your thoughts? Did you ever watch them?
Me?
Yeah.
Me? Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to talk to any of these other fuckers. I'm talking to you.
Yeah, actually I watched that was the first one I saw, the miniseries. I love the Sci-Fi Channel back when it was, before
Actual
the Y.
sci-fi. Yeah.
Yeah, so that I actually really liked it when it came out. It does look like a stage play though. It is a little hard to at least with David Lynch's version. They filmed on location, and again they have these amazing sets that they built, and the costumes were good. And you can't really say any of that with the miniseries. That is a TV budget, so there is green screens, and yeah, very small sets. It did feel small. And the hats. I didn't know what the obsession was with hats, but
oh yeah, I remember that now. I forgot about that.
But in regards to the story, it was a pretty faithful adaptation. There was, so I can point that to if you want a more faithful adaptation, I would recommend the miniseries because they had more time to really flesh out the story, and they were more faithful to the main themes and the characters. So that's why that's my favorite.
So I got a random question about something you mentioned, Elaine. Why did they change sci-fi to sci-fi? Does anybody know the answer to that?
They sold.
I think
rebranding.
It was a rebranding.
They wanted to attract a wider audience. And they thought
a wider audience too.
Did you say white audience or wider audience?
Yeah, that's exactly.
And the first thing they fucking did, and they knew they fucked up, they canceled Eureka.
Yeah.
They just canceled every show. Canceled Atlantis, canceled Stargate Universe, canceled.
Oh my God, Universe was so much potential and they messed it up. They're still sleeping in space.
Yeah, Dark Matter, I think too. I forget when that was canceled, but it was like
Dark
they just
Matter
went
was
on
a
canceling spree, and then they just put like Ghost
Who
Hunter
had
shows
Space
on there.
Above and Beyond? Was that them or who was
No, that was Fox. That was Fox, and that was back in the 90s.
Yeah, they fucked that one up too. That was a good show.
Yeah. That was from the two guys that came out of the X-Files. That was their TV
Morgan and Walken.
How did we go from Eureka to was it Primal? The one where like all these portals opened up and dinosaurs everywhere. I couldn't. And then we had Eureka, and then they got rid of that and got rid of Universe, and there was one
Eureka
more.
was such a character-driven show. It was so fucking good. Ferguson is the sheriff. Yeah. Oh my God!
Did they force Sanctuary to end too, or no?
No. What happened with Sanctuary was the fact that they had reached a point creatively behind the scenes where they were looking, several people had other things that they were wanting to do. And after a while, it just became something that they felt obligated to do, and it wasn't fun anymore. Because Sanctuary originally started as an online series. And it was built up over time due to fans. And it was mainly a side project for a lot of the people that had worked on Stargate SG-1. Not everybody, but some of the people that enjoyed really working together on Stargate did that. And after a while, they just, it ran its course. So it has a beginning, middle, and an end. That's the great thing about Sanctuary. There is an end to it. So, if they wanted to, they could have more. But I think it reached a natural conclusion. So
they could have more with Eureka, just be the next generation of families living there too.
That's right.
Not like the same thing there. I think Sci-Fi is also the one that ended the Twin Peaks from getting a second season, right? When they did the remake of Twin Peaks, didn't they?
Sci-Fi.
It was a semi-reboot.
And that was Showtime.
Yeah, and Who was V? CTV.
That was NBC.
Oh, well, that explains everything. Disney.
V. Yeah.
I watched that first season.
Wasn't it like ABC?
Yes, there was a remake. There was a reboot version.
Yeah.
NBC originally had V, and then ABC came back with a reboot version, and an all new younger cast, and pretty much gave it the CW treatment, in my opinion. But,
see, that's where and then there was Colony, and that was the lead was one of the actors from Lost, and Colony was a great one, especially.
Yeah, that was a Spielberg produced show, and
that had potential.
Josh Holloway, yeah.
Sorry, and then there was Defiance, and then we all look at Defiance and going, Defiance was the first show. Honestly, Defiance was the first show that tried to make the show go in the sync of the timeline of the game. That was a multiplayer online game.
Yes, but
the problem is when that company bought Defiance the game, they turned it into a pay to win, pay to get bored and it died, and then the show died, and then sci-fi died, and then we have Kenobi. Oh my god, I'm gonna throw up. I'll be right back. I gotta throw up.
That's
One
even
more.
connecting the dots.
It sounds like somebody else got into that red string.
I just remember Sci-Fi just had such a reputation for sci-fi, and they did the miniseries specials, which started with like Battlestar Galactica. It was like this huge thing they used to do.
Well,
showing all the miniseries, and then Dune was one of those, and Children of Dune. And
I'm going to show the images real quick because there was a casting. I think there was some good casting in it. I really did like William Hurt.
Yeah, William Hurt was
so
great.
this is
Ian
actually my
McShane.
favorite Baron. I think that's more book accurate. Baron is his portrayal. I can't remember the actor's name, but I did like
Ian McNeice.
Yeah.
They, however, they will never have a completely accurate Baron Harkonnen because, television audiences, we don't want to see a pedophile fucking little children.
Although I did find it funny that's basically Mars right there. That's
Well, the book doesn't describe they don't have scenes describing those things. But
no, but even the implication would disturb.
And the casting was
I
really
think they
good.
did it well in
Children
this
of Dune, too,
sci-fi
because-
series, though.
Yeah, here's the graphic from Children of Dune, which
The Children of Dune was, I think, more production quality. I think
it's got the Scottish kid. I can't think of his name right now.
James McAvoy.
Yeah,
I
James
really
McAvoy.
liked his Leto the second.
And then, of course, you had Susan Sarandon and Alison Krieg in it, even though she's not pictured here.
As
But
Jessica.
that was one of the things I think they did well was the casting on the miniseries. And they were pretty. I thought they were pretty spot on with their casting. I liked Ian McNeice; he was really good in it.
I did have a question because Nerd Cookies, you also have the Nerd Cookies arcade channel. Have you done any of the Dune games, whether it be like the Command and Conquer style or any of the other ones? And if so, do you have a favorite?
I haven't actually, and I know that's such a huge part of the Dune franchise.
Dune 2000,
and just for RTS games in general, it pretty much began it really. I haven't played it yet, but I am looking to play the Dune Spice Wars on that. I have to work out my setup some more. It kind of is, so I haven't been streaming or gaming lately, so I have to get that fixed up pretty soon.
See, one of the brilliant things with the Dune RTS game, for those that remember, is not only did you have to send your spice collectors out, you would literally see the desert from a top-down view like Command and Conquer, and you would see worms going across the desert, and you had to move your stuff out of there and lift them into. They'd actually have to take off, or the worms would come by and eat the building you just built. And that was one of the best things ever. You weren't just worrying about the enemy team that was trying to attack you, the computer AI. You also had to deal with worms. And the way they handled that back, I think it was in the late 90s, that game was fun. I was addicted to that more than anything else.
Yeah, it's such a good, I think it's so suited to that style of game. You have the different factions and the different abilities that each one has. Set on Arrakis, you're vying for power. So it kind of just makes itself within that universe. It fits so well with that style of game.
You actually had to plan out too, because it would also depend on what the land terrain for level they would give you, and some would be on sand where you couldn't build, and some would be an actual rock formation where you knew worms wouldn't come in and destroy it. So you also had to plan tactfully. So they really took the universe into heart there, and they don't do that anymore with a lot of games.
Have you played the Spice Wars? Have you checked that out?
Not yet. No, I've been pretty much yelling at 12-year-olds in Fortnite.
They also released a tabletop RPG recently for the series.
Yeah.
I would love to have a first-person shooter fucking video game. Because I don't play RPG, but I love first-person shooters.
There is a survival game in the works, and by the same Funcom, by the same studio that does the Conan games. So that's in the works currently, and I am excited to play that.
You know what else you're going to be excited about? Guess who's just joined us, Elaine?
Yeah. Oh no.
It's somebody you know and like. Our good friend, Andre.
Hey,
greetings, everyone.
Hey, Andre.
How's it going?
We just finished. We talked about the 84 film a little bit, but you're here, so let's backtrack it a little bit. Let's go back to the 84 film for you. because I know you have some distinct opinions on this.
Yeah, I think it's there are few movies which are as many things at the same time as the 1984 movie. If there ever was a movie that needed a Snyder cut, it's that one. Because in it, there is a great, great movie. And it's not the theatrical version. It really isn't. But the potential for greatness is there. It just wasn't in the theatrical cut. It certainly wasn't in the extended cut. So luckily, we have the fan cut called the Spice Diver Edit Redux, or exactly what it is. So in my book, that is the only cut of the movie anyone should ever assess or talk about. That's certainly what I do. That is my go-to cut of the movie. I don't care that it's not in 1080p.
It's the version I have.
I don't care that it's not in 4K. That is the go-to version, and that version is a great movie. I do stand by that.
Yeah, I because it was. I think after you talked about it, is how I ended up going get me a copy. Is because
what did you think about it?
I loved it. I loved it. It's the only version of the film I ever want to watch.
Exactly. It's a night and day difference, isn't it?
Yeah.
Andre, I have a question. If anyone else doesn't mind,
go for it. Go for it, buddy.
I really loved your
Andre. I hope you can understand him. He really is difficult to understand.
Yeah, well, he's Danish, isn't he? That's what it sounds like, at least.
I don't know.
He's actually Mexican.
Okay.
he's Limish.
Yeah. Well,
go for it, Viking. Go for it. I'm sorry, buddy.
That's okay. That's all right. I just liked when you were talking about the history of Dune in the Midnight Set channel, and I was wondering if you're going to keep up with that now that we're going to have Dune Part 2 and all that.
Oh, absolutely.
That's
absolutely.
Great.
Yeah.
I can hardly wait. I hope you're able to stick around for a little bit.
That reminds me. Oh crap! I have to finish up that. I still have one more to do. Thanks
for
reminding
Tom's
me.
got some editing to do.
Well, I have some writing and some summarizing to do because, like, that third book of the Machine Crusade. You know, it's so frustrating because I had this project. This is what Viking is talking about, where I was going to go through the entirety of the Dune books, both the original Frank Herbert's as well as like the spin-offs, the
Frank
Herbert. What do you want to call them? Fanfic books by Frank Herbert and the other dude, I forgot his name right now, but he's one who does the actual writing mostly. And with a twist, I was going to do them all in chronological order, meaning that I started with the Machine Crusade. And what I will say is that Frank Herbert is obviously a much better writer, but still, I enjoyed those books. And if you were to do like an HBO, Netflix style 7-season series based on the Machine Crusade, it would be a really good series based on those. I haven't read anyone else or any other of those in their books, but those three were pretty decent. They were too long. They were really way too long. I mean, you had to make cuts, but in those, file them down. There's a great story in there.
Andre, can I ask a question related to that?
By the way, it's Kevin J. Anderson is who you're trying to think of.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Sorry about the Avatar. It's not how I actually look during the day. But the question is, though, like even like you're saying, if they ever decide to push an HBO or Netflix style, can they adapt it without pushing in the activism or the agenda checklist that we've seen with so many series and actually keep it based off what, let's say, you as a fan love about it?
Oh,
and not
easily, especially now with Zaslav running the show.
Yeah,
I mean, there is really nothing there which says that you have to go all activist. That's a creative choice that many people do. There are some properties that have elements of them that lend themselves to that. I mean, Dune certainly has that with the Bene Gesserit Sisterhood. Mm-hmm. But again, that's an interpretation that you have to make. And when you look at the script for the new movie, for instance, you can maybe it didn't translate too well in the finished movie, but the script was quite clear that the Bene Gesserit, they're evil, manipulative witches. The look of them.
Is it just me? Or I could listen to Andre read the damn phone book.
Well, Andre knows. Because I've told Andre this before. I don't swing that way, but if I did, yeah, it's Andre.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
I love this voice.
Now,
Sorry.
Andre, I wanted to share this with you because you brought up David Zaslav. So you've not seen this video that I made.
I look forward to it.
Here it is. There you go.
Oh, very nice. Well, it's a good work in progress, but he has still some challenges still ahead of him.
Well,
because
there's project stuff that he's got to deal with.
He was left some nice time bumps in the shape of Amber Heard and Ezra Miller.
Yeah, because the Flash is an issue. Is he going to shelve it? He can't reshoot it. It's a $200 million film already.
He can't shelve it either.
No, yeah, man, no. But
he can reshoot it if need be. He can, or he totally can.
I think at this point, just release it as soon as possible before it turns out that Ezra Miller went to Epstein's Island and they have the flight logs and video.
Yeah, they don't have to do that. He's already groomed 12-year-old. Well, allegedly. But still, that accusation is bad enough that we are already there.
Yeah, that dude's
might
got...
as well have gone to Epstein's Island.
Yeah.
He might as well.
When he hit that girl in the head with the chair, he canceled himself. The additional canceling
actually, he got away with that because
I know no charges were filed, but
he can get away with that. But
it's
not
ruined him
this.
in public.
This makes everything else pale. This
sorry,
this makes the movie unreleasable.
Yeah, there is another thing, and more people come. Because I hate to throw this down, but there's actually some other things popping up that most of the TMZ and other articles aren't covering. I don't know if you've heard about this other. I'm not talking about the C word. I'm talking about the fact that there's a known history with Dakota's father, Chase, not only running for politician stuff and supposedly money laundering as well. With articles, if you can find it, I can show this all later. But this might be more of another slander campaign what we saw with like Mia Solange and Ren Turner, which is a known stalker of Ezra Miller. So as much as that grooming thing, it seems to be falling into place, there could be an aspect when we're looking at it, since the Amber Heard and the Depp trial is now over and Depp pretty much won, the whole Me Too movement has no effect on what is going on. So they went to the next worst thing, especially with Disney, and that would be grooming. So this whole Ezra thing.
Grooming, I think, it's a misnomer.
I'm not trying to contradict.
Well,
I'm just trying to say
I wanted to make a point that fits into what you're talking about, and then you can finish. I just want to add in there that this fits into the thing that we've all talked about privately, but we won't talk about publicly, is the fact that there may be cultish stuff involved with this. Yes. And it's stuff that I don't want to talk about publicly because it's kind of stuff that could get you pulled off of fucking YouTube.
Yeah,
talking about it publicly.
And that's why I'm not. Yeah.
And I'm just telling you, I think that's the kind of grooming we're talking about. Less of the sexual and more of the religious grooming. So there you go. Continue.
That could be an aspect, and I'm also not discerning what Midnight's Edge and
Andre knows what I'm talking about, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But I also have another PR team that's actually on Ezra's behalf. I'm not believing 110%, but I try to look at both sides of the coin. And this also looks like it could be a way of like the way we look at Britney Spears. You know how the father and the family had control over her, and we saw what happened to her. This could be the same type of format going after Tokata. I hope I'm saying this right. Just in general, and Ezra is pretty much the scapegoat of blame. So I think there's more going on that we haven't seen yet, because of those that know about the Mia Solange and the Ren Turner stuff and all that, negative Ghost Rider songs being released, the whole timeline, there's more that seem to have fizzled out and now no one's acknowledging it. And this could be one of those things as well. So I'm hoping
it could be. It could
be. Ezra is still
I've been asked to ask you a question, Andre.
Such an easy target. Yeah, let's do that before we get back into the Dune thing. I didn't mean to.
Yeah, because one of our chat wanted to know, Bill Barkley, if you've ever seen The Bothersome Man, which I've seen it. I actually like that film.
This is going to be embarrassing. I have that movie. It's called Den brysomme mannen in Norwegian. I have it right here in my shelf. It's still
liked it too,
plastic. I know I never got around to seeing. It's still on my list of things to do. I haven't seen it.
Oh, you got to watch it. I thoroughly enjoyed that film. It's so weird.
I do love the actor who's in his Klaus.
He was in that Netflix series with the mobster. God, he was so good in that show. He plays his right hand man.
Hammer.
Yeah, Lilyhammer.
Yeah, and he's also in The Norseman, which is like the Norwegian-made Vikings parody. Mm-hmm. That's actually a really cool series.
I've never watched that. I'm going to have to watch it now.
Danny,
you have a question?
Yeah, I do have a question actually. and if you've already talked about this on one of your shows, Andre, I apologize, but have you
No,
guys
it's
seen
all right.
Tug's most recent video about the screenings that they've been doing of?
Yes.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on that? Because
I going to slightly disagree with Tug a little bit on that. I can tell you exactly what's the reason behind it. Probably we'll do a separate video about it, but just to go through it, the reason they're doing that, or just to go through the rumor, then, is that there has recently been a test screening, and in that screening, Amber Heard's role was increased from the 10 minutes we have heard before to suddenly 20 to 25 minutes worth of screen time. And then everyone is freaking out. What the hell is going on? Why would they do this? Why would they increase her screen time? They need to cut it down to 0. Well, I'll tell you why. This actually is a step on the way to cutting her screen time down to 0 and recasting her completely. This is something that we covered in our morning show that we just concluded. A script, and Tom pointed out between them, and that I agree with completely. There's 2 sides to it.
I really need to start watching your channel.
Yeah.
Andre, is what you're saying is pretty much this test screening is to see how much of the audience will take in Amber Heard after this trial and whether or not more cuts.
No, that's not it. Cool. Indirectly. But there's 2 sides to it. One is that this is basically the third cut of the movie. Right? And what they want to see is because what we
I expect that from Tom, not from you, Andre.
Well, it was Tom that actually it was someone else that coined it. But Tom adopted it, and I thought it was so brilliant that let's call it from there on out. It came from Midnight's Edge, the third cut. Get it right?
The third cut.
And the third cut of the movie is basically all of her scenes, because they had cut her parts down to 10 minutes, and that is the point where the movie stops making sense. But would the movie be better if maybe she or her character was in it for not the bare minimum, but a little bit more than that? Maybe the movie would be better served if it was 15 minutes, 17, 18 minutes. That is what they can get a reaction on with the audience. That's one thing. Then they can see, okay, so we need to reshoot this scene with another actress, but we don't need to reshoot this scene. So then they know exactly what they need to reshoot and what they don't have to reshoot. That's one thing. The other thing is they know that Amber, she's a psycho, and I do mean that in the medical sense, because she has 2 personality disorders going on, right? So she is going to come out guns blazing, complaining about being Me Too'd by Warner and how they're just doing this because of the verdict, and it's just a popularity contest, Johnny's fault, yada yada yada, all of those things, right? So what Warner needs to do when they know that someone is going to come out and not be quiet, they need to preemptively have their backs covered. They need to be able to prove and say, oh no, look, actually, we did a test screening. It's a test screening with all your scenes. And what everyone said in this test screening was that we hate her in it. We have the documentation to prove that the movie was unreleasable with her in it, right? Then they have documented it. They have a test screening which shows that very clearly. So in this way, they have basically swatted 2 flies in one strike. That probably came out wrong, but you caught my drift. Basically, they will be able to provide documentation and back cover for, no, it has nothing to do with the trial. It's because the movie is unreleasable because her Q scores are that low. And at the same time, they know exactly what they need to reshoot with a new actress.
That makes sense, because it's pretty much like it's
much less complicated than the Ezra Miller problem.
Yes. This is an easy problem compared to the Ezra Miller situation. Tom I'm sure can come in afterwards here, and because I only have so much time, Tom can break down in detail exactly the nature of the Ezra Miller problem, what they can and what they can't do there.
Oh, hey, Tom.
There is some good news, and I did put in the private chat for you guys. Supposedly, there is someone who actually upscaled to 4K the Spicer edit.
Oh, wow.
So if you want to look, I put it in the private chat. I did find it. This is the Spicer edit and up to 4K. That's what he said. He upscaled it by, I think, GW. So it's there, and it does. There you go.
Well, that would be fantastic. Because again, going back to Dune, I stand by the Spice Diver edit. That is the definitive version of Dune. No one else needs watch another cut of it ever.
Yeah, it's great.
Yep. And again, hi to Tom in the chat. If he wants to jump on, man, share with him that link I gave you, buddy. I'm grateful you showed up, Andre, because you know you and Nerd Cookies here, who's been very quiet. She's like,
I'm sorry.
God, someone else is here to talk. Oh my God, these guys are freaking me out.
But the fact is you two are the only two. I when you put up a Dune video, I immediately go and watch it.
I have to put one up soon here. It's been a while.
Yeah, and what I'd like to get into now is the 2021 film and the forthcoming sequel. I personally feel that the casting in this was a major coup. It's amazing. I'm shocked, but I'm interested in Christopher Walken because, as it's well known, I'm a huge Christopher Walken fan. And to have him as the Emperor is just like, wow. I never saw that coming. Never saw it coming, but I'm curious what he's going to do. Is he going to turn it into another David Lynch film because he's so fucking weird? I don't know. But he's so intense as an actor. I can't see him failing.
Actually, I think for that role, you need someone intense as an actor. And I think that this is another piece of really inspired casting between the director and the casting director. How much did they nail it out of the park here? Like, I remember like my reaction to when they cast Stellan Skarsgård as Baron Harkonnen.
Yeah, right. Everybody hated it. I think you and I were the only two that said
I was like,
no, you and I were the only two I know of that were saying nice things.
Yeah, because like I was like thinking, I would never,
you don't count Keith,
in a million years, have thought about him for that role, but now you put it in my mind as absolute genius. It's just too bad that we didn't get to see his proper scheming in the final movie. My only issue with the 2021 movie, to get into that, was that I thought everything was beautiful. The score was maybe a little bit on the pretentious side, so was the editing. It was like a little bit like too misty and dreamlike. And having read the script, there were so many good story-driven scenes in it, which were never, maybe they were filmed, but they never made it into that final edit, which emphasized more of this dream-like feeling of long shots and basically went a little bit pretentious. That was my one issue with it.
Well, first of all, I'm not a fan of Hans Zimmer. Not a fan. I always make the joke, hey, if you need droning music, Hans Zimmer is your guy. Someone who doesn't understand the idea of what a theme is.
Yeah, but I agree with Andre here. You know, I think that it's a little bit pretentious. There's a new Dune version, and it goes really nowhere. I mean, we're missing important elements like that bit when...
Look, man, I get what you're saying, but I got to cut you off here on this, Viking. This is the best adaptation you're going to fucking get cinematically in our lifetime.
This is true, but it could have been better if they had stuck to the script.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. So, I think we'll see that with the second film, Nerd Cookie.
I'm sorry, what?
What?
What was the question? I didn't hear half of it.
Pay attention. Pay attention. No, I was asking.
I love this movie.
Do you think they'll pay attention to the script this time?
Oh man, I don't know. I think they have even more elements too that they need to flesh out, and I'm not sure how they're going to handle the time, the passage of time, because now they have like several years. That needs to be. I don't know how they're going to cut that or convey that, but you have a couple pregnancies and and births and. Yeah.
I think that they were doing it on purpose. Okay, they wanted people to age, especially your lead actor. They want them to age. That's what I heard from director Denis Villeneuve.
But they still have to get to the time jump. But where they cut it, they still have a little bit of time before the passage of time again.
Yes.
So
yes.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like they have instead of getting all of it before the big time jump in the first movie, they're going to have a little bit of previous story and then the time jump. Yeah, I see that.
Well, if they were smart, they actually filmed all that stuff. They just didn't have in the movie.
Probably that's right. They did. Probably that's exactly what they did.
I think that's why also, or it could be another reason why he's not decided not to reveal the deleted scenes. He might still use that footage. So That makes sense.
That's interesting. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I mean, again, it's you take what you can get. While there is a logic to trying to film everything at once, ever since that movie
Superman
Boyhood,
1 and 2, remember?
Since that movie Boyhood came out, it's proven that if you time it right, if you plan it right, also using the passage of time can also be very beneficial.
For those of you who don't know what he's talking about, it is a film that the director shot over a period of 10 years.
Yeah, same cast, same actors.
Showing their actual aging, no makeup.
No makeup. They are actually
the
getting
kid goes
older.
from child to adult.
Young adult, yeah.
Young adult, but he's an adult.
So. I think it'd be interesting. I'm still very much interested in what that Denis Villeneuve is trying to achieve. I agree though with Andre. If you have a really good script, stick with it. Don't try to be all fancy and stuff. You are making.
The problem Ridley Scott runs into all the time. His best films are the ones where he stuck to the script.
Yeah.
But I got a question too, Andre, because we all talked about it already. What were your thoughts on the miniseries run on Sci-Fi?
I love the storytelling in it. I thought the visuals, the designs were intriguing. Okay. What I think really kills is the special effects, which was the best that they could do at the time, but which in retrospect are PlayStation 1 level cutscenes.
Yeah.
To me, it looks like play with special effects, like a filmed play, they did like something really weird with the lighting and everything. It's a project where the ambition is great, but the execution, it was made too soon. Like if they had just waited a couple of years,
and
if they had waited till after Battlestar Galactica, it was a project that came a little bit too early. And what's the most tragic thing about it is that it was never completed, because you have two miniseries. It's not just one. You have the original miniseries.
Children of Dune was the last one,
and then you have Children of Dune. What you don't have is the third miniseries that was supposed to finish up the story, God Emperor of Dune. That was supposed to happen, but it never happened, and that was because the Sci-Fi Channel did a change in strategy, a change of priorities, and so it just never happened. So you can enjoy the first miniseries on its own, but what forever will bring it down to me is that there were supposed to be 3 miniseries, and they were supposed to, basically cover the same thing that Denis Villeneuve tries to cover in the movies. But they obviously would do it in a more complete way, as they had more running time at their disposal. From a pure narrative perspective, that was going to be the definitive retelling of Frank Herbert's Dune saga, and it never happened. So it's kind of like something aborted. So I see it as something where the ambition exceeded the execution, but I'm glad that it exists. It exposed Dune to a whole new fan base. It was the biggest thing that the Sci-Fi Channel had at the time. It was their hugest hit. And it was really important in getting over the stigma that Dune had, because it really did that. Because before then, Dune was one of the biggest flops of all time. The Sci-Fi series successfully opened the eyes to a lot of people everywhere that, this is the story that you didn't get the last time around.
Because I need to point out that, having watched Dune in the theater, I wanted to ask you, did you get the pamphlet when you went to see it in the theater?
What, me?
The glossary, yeah.
Well, I never saw Dune in theaters because I was 3.
Okay. Boy, you are older than us, man.
May I ask a question? The
Keith
question
and I are old. We're old.
I would like to make a point in relation to directors and directing, because I've done some of that. I've also written scripts. The thing I think that happens a lot is that not everyone who's a director is an actual storyteller, i.e., they can't come up with a story. They can read a script and imagine what it will look like, and then they can adapt that. But they don't necessarily have whatever the muscles, whatever you want to put it, that at least actual narrative creativity and be able to tell a coherent story. Yeah. But the director has a lot of power and say. So, like, we have a Patty Jenkins situation where the Wonder Woman 1 writers were let go because she wanted credit and they wouldn't give it to her, so they just let her go. And she decided to run Wonder Woman 1984 in essence, and that movie ended the way it did because she's not a writer. She's able to adapt work very well because she's done it before, but she's not a writer. And I think Danilo isn't a writer. He's a visualist. And there's nothing wrong with that. Same thing with Ridley Scott.
Well, there's two kinds of storytellers.
That's exactly right. But before I have to drop out here. I just want to say thanks for.
Oh, before you go, Andre, I got to ask you. June 25th, we're doing the 40th celebration of Blade Runner. Are you interested in joining us on that? I'm going to have Paul Salmon, Razor Fist will be there.
50. Yeah, I'll try to make that.
Okay, sounds good. I'll talk to you about it on Facebook.
Yeah, all right. So everyone, thanks for having me. And
well, it's great having you, Andre. I'm so glad you took my invitation.
Absolutely.
Pleasure to meet you, sir.
Hey, likewise.
Andre.
Good to meet you.
Good to see you.
Yeah, nice meeting you again, Andre.
Nice seeing you, Andre.
Yeah.
Coolest guy. Coolest guy on YouTube, Andre.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I try, but I don't make it.
Asthma all the way.
So, Nerd Cookie. Oh, you're still here. Oh.
I wanted to ask a question. Maybe someone says the answer to this. When the sci-fi changed, was he referring to the fact where they changed the way that they did everything? It seemed like they just repeated older shows at the beginning, then at the end of the day, and they put this on this cycle.
No,
Is that
what ended up happening
management
is budgetary issues, and upper management wanted to cut their spending. That's why we never got the third story. And it's what inevitably led to the downfall of Sci-Fi Channel to be picked up later, because Eureka was their real chance to kindly build it back up. But the problem was they were still hemorrhaging money. Production, and not enough commercial dollars coming back into the network. And so they had to sell, and it got picked up, and then everything got fucked up, and they rebranded and canceled the greatest show on Sci-Fi Channel.
And that also was the demarcation line there between the kinds of stuff that they were used to making, and then the kind of stuff they became known for, like Sharknado, and also
the ghost hunting.
Wasn't it also
I can tell you guys, I don't know how many of you guys can say this. I've never fucking watched one Sharknado. Not one.
No, not one. But
no.
The question is,
seen
though,
them all.
The question is, though, to fall in this, and does that fall under before or after the Stargate SG-1 films? And secondly, Ghost Adventures is the only ghost hunting show to watch because it was worthwhile.
Well, I mean,
their big failure with Stargate was when they did the other show. Keith, tell them what show it was.
Please don't say Universe. Please don't say Universe.
Oh, do you mean the web show?
They wanted to do that Battlestar Galactica with Stargate is what it was all about. They wanted to emulate what Ronald D. Moore had done with Battlestar.
Was doing.
And so they started this new Stargate series. What was it called?
Universe.
Okay, y'all need to shut up right now because that was a good series. It had potential.
It was.
I liked it, but Gary didn't.
I don't mind the darker tone.
I'd rather like. I
thought it was really finding its footing during the second season, and it was really getting good.
Well, it was picking up viewership, but it wasn't bringing in revenue dollars, which is what they needed, and they canceled it. And I really did think that, despite the fact that I didn't like it as much as, because I did like it, I just didn't like it as much as the previous shows.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Robert fucking Carlyle.
Well, they should have kept Atlantis going. I mean, they should have kept that.
What a fucking great show.
Yeah.
Agreed wholeheartedly.
Universe was the attempt to bring in the lore foundation, like we've seen with Star Wars and Star Trek, with a lot of kids. They'll get a book where they'll go right back and try to find the parts of lore.
It got really deep.
Shipbuilding ships. That desert scene where they're beating the crap out of each other while the ship is leaving.
Okay, watch out. I don't know where he's going to end up. It's Tom.
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 Universe had a chance of branching Stargate into a Star Trek-esque type of adventure, and not only show the origins of humankind across the universe, but why the shipbuilders were there and why they were automated and what happened, and they ruined it. And they're still sitting there cryo sleep going, we're going through the dark space of the universe. Everyone go to sleep now. They're still there.
I think we all agree with you, War Monkey. And War Monkey is, of course, one of my two favorite monkeys. That is War Monkey and Monkey Jeeves. Those two absolutely can really, like Mr. Tickle Trunk, they are really the parishioners that I focus on, that piss off all the other parishioners. It's like, why does the priest never pay attention to us? There you go.
Do you guys remember the one episode, though, where I think it kept looping, and it was those creatures that kept like spawning from their chest and remember that one with the bugs? Oh my god, that is still my favorite yet creepiest episode ever.
Yeah. Well, look, I don't want us to derail too much. No, you're saying stuff I agree with and I want to talk about, but I've got nerd cookies here for a reason. I want her to bake me some fucking nerd cookies. No, do you actually make cookies, or is that just something you picked up on with the name?
No, it's just, I don't know. It's just, I try to make the videos
if I ask your boyfriend,
like
will
cookies.
He say that you suck at cooking?
I can cook. I'm actually not that great at baking, but I can bake cookies.
Significant other you have in your life, I want to ask them.
I'm a great cook.
Because we all think we're great cooks. It's the other people who go, it's really not cheap.
No.
I've actually met Mr. Cookies like once or twice. He's been on a stream before.
Yeah. Yeah,
as long as he's
Nick
not
likes
dead.
me cooking. Yeah.
Okay.
He cooks
all
too.
right.
He barbecues.
I'll take your word for it, Tom.
He doesn't like sleeping on couch.
Yeah, it is.
I hide all the vegetables underneath the sheets. You never knows.
Once again, I
this is why I turn into giggle cookies. You guys,
yes,
giggle cookies. There you go.
Well, half of our shtick is just being stupid on the show. So, good luck.
We're all ADHD.
Half of your shtick.
ADD theater. This is ADD theater.
I will say though that I just kind of what Andre got me thinking of was how different and how many. Like, it's so insane to think about how each adaptation of Dune has had so many issues. Every time this story has people tried to adapt the story, it's just whether it's within their control, studio interference, COVID, or it's
because God says no. You want to make
no.
God says
No, I don't. It might not even be that. It could fall into the pretense which we've seen with a lot of movie sets, that the whole curse thing. Maybe Dune has that type of curse over it, that the time and place of how is not always the time to deliver. It could be that too.
It could, but you know what? Ever since Peter Jackson successfully was able to adapt The Lord of the Rings, I think the thought that it was an impossible task has now become part of the whole probable task if you plan it correctly, like a lot of other things. I think it just comes,
They didn't do enough with the ends. I'm sorry, I'm going to correct you on that one.
I will say though that
a million things can go wrong and only a few things will go right.
Yeah.
I nerd cookies because I heard you start to talk.
Well, for Dune though, it's so interesting how even though there may be ones we have our favorite adaptations, or there's things we don't like, things we do like out of each one, they all have something special that I think contributes to just the entire franchise. So one thing for me, like, I really liked Dune Part 1, but there were things that I wish were in there. I felt like it was missing some important things. But like Piter, I thought David Dismalcian was like a superb casting, but they really underutilized him. They did not use him how I thought he was going to be. You have David Dismalcian, who was like perfect to play the twisted mentat Piter de Vries, but you know what we do have? We have Brad Dourifs, who I thought was great in David Lynch's version. So I feel like you could still get like pieces of it. Yeah. Which is, it's just so funny to me. And in the miniseries too, obviously it looks like a stage play, but there's some really good story. Like, it's more faithful. They were able to tell more of the story because David Lynch didn't have that much time. So, and we still have yet to finish
Yeah.
Dune Part 2 still is yet to come out, so we really need to. I mean, then we'll know for sure definitively.
I still stand by my statement that in our lifetime, all of us, this will be the truest adaptation we'll ever see in the cinema of Dune. And so you take it with that and appreciate it for what it is. But I will tell you this also, that of all the great things that were in Dune, it lacked one thing that I felt it was necessary, and Space Pirates got it right. And that, of course, is space herpes.
Oh, you mean Ice Pirates?
What is that?
Yeah, Ice Pirates.
Yes.
It's a sci-fi movie from the 80s.
Yeah.
It's
a comedy movie.
It's a comedy sci-fi film with Urich.
Robert Urich.
Robert Urich, Angelica Houston.
And their ship got space herpes. And they had to
That's a space herpes.
Ron
That's
Perlman.
what it is.
Yeah.
Nerd Cookie's like, what the fuck just happened?
I thought that's what metaphorians were.
Because that's the kind of worm I wanted to see. No. What did you think of the worms in the new film compared to the version they did in '84? Nerd Cookie.
Oh man,
Elaine.
just perfect. I mean, I wish there would have been that internal fire. They're supposed to have that
internal combustion.
Yeah, like because it's an important part of how the even ecosystem works. But that's not really described in the first book, so I give him a pass on that. But it really looks really good. I mean, they really got the scale, the sounds, you could tell they put a lot of thought and care into it, and they really wanted to, and they had the money and the budget to do that. I really liked how they spent their money wisely. They took the time to think about how the worms would look, what they would sound like. I
actually really like the long tooth thing because it's reminiscent of a certain species of whales, sperm whales.
Yeah, baleen-like teeth. I thought that was an interesting. I think they're described as like glistening in the moonlight, and so it's a little different change there.
Which I've always thought was because of the spice that they had that sparkle effect, that glistening.
Yeah, they're sort of like crystalline teeth. And yeah, I guess they burrow through the sand, but they don't like eat everything, or they only derive nutrition from just the sand plankton. So they're just basically just like pouring through all the rocks and whatever stuff is under there. So yeah, they would look. It makes sense. It does. It looks like something that would exist on this world, and I thought they did a fantastic job.
It's the greatest rule of filmmaking is when you create a world, you have to create rules within it, and everything has to function in order to suspend disbelief. And that absolutely did. I mean, the books did it, and I still believe even the '84 version did it. But this film, I believe, in 2021 did a better job of creating the worlds for me, other than the fact that I really did like I forget the name of the planet the Atreides were from. Caladan. I love how green it was in the original film and all the wood. That was one thing I thought he nailed. But Tom, I know we only have you for a few minutes, buddy. What are your thoughts on the '84 film? And then
I enjoy it.
2021.
You want on both films? Sorry,
on both films, and then also the miniseries, if you want.
The miniseries I'm not as familiar with. I do have the Blu-ray. I've only seen like a few minutes of it and a few sections of it just for reference. But like I have not actually sat through the whole entire miniseries. But as far as the '84 film, I enjoy it. I like the TV cut a little bit better, or the Spice Diver cut. I think are a little bit better than the theatrical cut. But I don't hate it as much as a lot of people do. I really love the production design. The casting, as Elaine brought up, is great too. There's a lot of elements I wish they had brought into the 2021 film, as Elaine also said. I agree with that as well. But at the same time, I'm with you, Gary, with a J, that we're probably never going to get a better version than this, especially in our lifetime. And because of, so many other various reasons, I don't know if we ever will get another better adaptation than this series that we're getting right now. And we're lucky in a world. I'm glad you brought up the Lord of the Rings, because I think that between COVID and that Warner and Legendary will take a chance on at least making this, a duology, if not a trilogy, because they know that they can build an audience unlike it used to be, where, you know, when a movie had only a window of so long in a theater and stuff like that, the chances of you getting a sequel were slim to none. That's what happened to Dune, right? I mean, it just didn't perform. So regardless of how popular it had become over the years, at that point in time, there wasn't a system set up for them to realize how much of a hit it was, or at least a cult, you know, hit until much later. And I mean, it's gotten to the point where even Lynch has softened a bit on his views on the 84 film. He used to, like, if you brought it was one of those things you never brought it up to.
I told you, I went to dinner with him and I wasn't allowed to talk about it.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect example. I didn't even know that. But yeah, like, that's the thing is, I was just going to say, famously, you're not allowed to talk to him about it, but he was asked about it recently. And he sounds like he's entertaining the idea of revisiting it, which would be an amazing thing.
We could get a Snyder cut, as Andre said, you know.
Yeah, a Snyder cut of Lynch's Dune, that'd be kind of amazing to see. And I think that that's something that could be in the cards. And again, a lot of that might be dictated on how the sequel does, how the Blu-rays were selling for Arrow, because they recently put out the original theatrical version of 84 film on 4K.
With a documentary.
Well, one thing to add, what Lynch said, and I heard him say this, was that his whole thing is he didn't get final cut. So I think if they invite him back in to get his final cut, he would be more than happy to do it. And then he would probably be more happy to talk about that version of the film.
Well, that's the whole reason. I brought that up earlier is, you know, and it was funny, Tom. I'm in the car with Ron and Judy Miller, who are the artists. She designed the ornithopter for the 84 film. I'm in the car. We get to the house. We drove for like an hour and a half to get to his ranch. And as we're getting out of the car, and Lynch is at the door waiting for us, and Ron Miller turns to me getting out of the back seat, and he goes, "Don't talk about Dune." And I'm like, that's the only reason I came, so I could talk about Dune. And it was a real sore spot with him because
you think I give a fuck about Twin Peaks?
Yeah, I know. And this is back in '85. It was 1985 when this happened, and he had bought that ranch in Virginia. Really nice guy. He really is very, very nice. But you know, it really pained me. I could not say a damn thing. And Dune had such an impact. I even got the making of Dune book signed by cast and crew. When they were over in Italy working, because they were working on the next film. What was it? Total Recall. And this is when Cronenberg was directing it. My son Benjamin has the script with Cronenberg's red notes on the side. I gave it to him as a gift. My son Benjamin, and they were over there, and so I got signatures by a lot of the cast and crew for the making of Dune on that book. And once again, it's one of the books that was stolen a few years back, sold for drugs. But I got to tell you, man, David Lynch, if he came back and was willing to do a final edit on that film, and the studio would pay for some of the effects that obviously would have to be done, what a coup that would be.
Well, I think a big piece on. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, Keith.
I was just going to say, I don't know about the studio itself paying for it, but if, say, Arrow were to.
Well, Dino De Laurentiis doesn't exist anymore. So it would be the main studio that released it. Who was
Universal
that?
owns the main rights to it. And then overseas, I think it's either Studio Canal or Universal as well. But yeah.
I think if whoever decided to help out with that version, whether it be Arrow or someone else to release it, if they were to kick in some money, I think that would help grease the wheels a little bit in order to get that done. Because it's not like any of these studios would have the incentive to actually pay more money. I mean, their whole thing would be trying to convince Lynch in the first place to do it. But as far as kicking in some additional cash, I wouldn't expect them to do it not on their own. So
I agree, Keith, and that's kind of what I was going to say. I was going to say the difference now between 20 years ago, 10 years ago, and the Spice Diver cut is proof of this. You could pretty much do his version now on your home computer, right?
Mm-hmm.
The difference between then and now was that then he probably knew that there was no way the studio was going to kick in another $30 million or whatever for him to finish that movie. Now,
yeah, thankfully it'd be cheaper to do it today.
That's just it. Like now it would have cost you 10, 20, $30 million then, cost you $10 in a PC at home with the,
right.
You know, and people. That's what the thing is the Spice Diver edit. They actually finished off some of the special effects, and it's not like
it is
huge
the only
things.
version to watch. It is the only version.
It has
to
like
watch.
the eyes finished and all that kind of stuff, which aren't finished in the TV version. And that was one of the versions that he really, I think, turned him off because he actually had his name pulled from that version.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one that's credited to Alan Smithy because they didn't finish the special effects, and he was pissed. On top of a million other fucking reasons. And I think now that he knows that they could get it done for $1.05, that the possibility is there. And I think you're right. Like Arrow or somebody like that would definitely, even Peacock would have an incentive to throw in a few bucks.
NBC Universal, that's right.
That's to kind of premiere it on the Peacock streaming or something.
Yeah, because I got to tell you, it's a major coup that Paramount released early the 4K version of Star Trek: The Motion Picture on the Paramount channel, the Paramount Plus channel, and because the 4K disc doesn't come out until September, they could do something like that.
That's one of 3 projects that could easily be finished off nowadays with not having to spend that much money. I would love to see a redone version of Donner's Superman. Because now you could use a lot of stuff that you could find on your PC, various programs, to actually properly, seamlessly make Donner's cut of Superman flow much better.
I agree.
And you... Oh, go ahead.
No, I just wanted to say, I wanted to play this real quick because Shanatsky shared this. And this is David Lynch talking about Dune. It's 1 minute and 4 seconds long, so I'll go ahead and
I
play
love
it.
David's voice.
Oh,
Can you
ditto, man.
believe?
I love it.
Can you guys hear this?
No.
You forgot to share the audio.
No, it's shared. That's turned up, and I've got my headset
on.
That audio is terrible, Shanatsky. Is there a better version?
God damn it, Shanatsky.
Hold on, let me find it.
I also
he is really low.
You had one job, Shanatsky. One.
I also shared a link to the, I think the documentary, part of the documentary called "The Sleeper Must Awaken," that Chris Gore had been touting as probably the best.
Turn the closed captioning on.
The best Dune documentary made about the '84 version.
Oh, on the video, I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Oh, on the Arrow? Yeah, there's a really great documentary on
Yeah,
that.
I shared a link to that in the private chat.
At this moment, as Pop Culture Minefield's third host, I'd like to say, hello, Nerd Cookies. We know you're still there.
Hey, look, I'm not Yeti. I'm not.
Also-
Yeti. I'm not going to make a big deal out of this shit.
I'm not making a big shit.
But
And
I
if
did
y'all
want to
have
show
it-
this. What's that?
I'll talk after the thingy.
Oh yeah, I just wanted to share this, Tom, because I was really amused by this because I wrote a little review of the second episode of Orville, and I've taken heat from a few people, and I call bullshit on them. But fucking Seth MacFarlane, right after I published it, fucking shared it and liked it,
Nice.
and it's right here on his fucking page. There's my review right there at the bottom, and his fucking official page. I was like, oh shit,
Who's
that's
giving you
fucking cool.
shit for that? I thought it was a really good episode.
I thought it was fucking great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they're in the chat. Fuck those guys. I love you guys, but fuck you. But I love you.
If you took his advice and watched that episode in the dark like he told you to, oh my goodness, I'm still shaking.
Look, there's
Still
no
shaking.
question on an away mission, and you're going to a strange fucking place, and that place looks like a fucking giant spider in space, and it's glowing red. I'm taking fucking whatever version of Marines I've got with me, and I'm going in with an environmental suits because you don't know what the fuck is in
That
there.
was probably my only gripe with the episode is
It
why
was
they didn't go in
my
with
main
environmental suits to begin with.
But you couldn't get that thing, and that's
Yeah,
that's
I
the
know.
Deus Ex Machina aspect of the story. That if they'd had environmental suits, they would have had to have found a way. And if they had done it that way, where it broke the glass,
You could have just had them carry the spores on the suits too.
well,
but
I thought that would be a neat way that he just got it on him and it went through the pores of his suit and have him scratching his hand. I thought that would be a better way of doing it. But that's
Something
the way
like
they
that,
just
yeah.
chose to go. I thought it was a little Deus Ex Machina, but what the hell, I still fucking enjoyed that episode. Matt Vader's one that took a shot at me because he says, because I said, yeah, you're complaining that they took out all the fun and novelty and instead focused on telling a good story and, being good science fiction. And then he goes, you talk about taking out all the fun, you're talking about taking out what made us want to watch the show to begin with. And I'm like, maybe for you, but a majority of fucking people saw Star Trek when they looked at Orville. The comedy part was kind of annoying to me. As much fun as I enjoyed it, it was not what I was watching for. I was watching for the characters, the story, the sci-fi. And now we're getting that. He's being really serious. Yeah, there's some fun here and there, but they're really focused on telling stories and having the characters act realistically.
Well, the reason I think some of the fun has seemed to go away, and Elaine's probably forgot what the fuck she was going to say.
Like, why am I here?
Yeah.
Welcome to our
Because I am curious what she was going to say. I am curious what she had to say.
Why did we invite you here, Elaine? I can't remember what that was. What was this? It's like, yes, you're fun and all that, but why did I invite you? There's a reason.
Did you want me to say it?
Please do, and then I'll pick up with my point afterwards.
Well, it's just like, I don't know if y'all are aware, if anyone in the chat is. If you do like Dune, then you'll probably really like Nausicaa and the Valley of the Wind, which was Hayao Miyazaki's film. And if it's like a different, and it even has Patrick Stewart voicing a very Gurney Halleck-like character. So it's just like, and I think it came out, he did say it was inspired by Dune. So if it's just another Dune nugget, if you like that kind of thing,
I know another film that was kind of stolen from
Nausicaa
Dune
of the Wind.
called Star Wars.
Nausicaa of the Wind.
It came out in 85 or 86, around that time, right before Studio Ghibli was the thing. That's that was the studio it was from.
Love that movie. My mom turned me on to that movie.
1984.
Yeah.
So it came out the same year as Lynch's Dune, yeah.
Yep, it came out in 1984.
It originally was brought over by Carl Masek as like Warriors of the Wind or something like that, where he did the usual thing of like splicing it down.
Gotcha.
Let's put it this way: you have Patrick Stewart, Shia LaBeouf, Mark Hamill, James Edward Olmos, I believe, as well.
Mm-hmm.
There's a great cast. Yeah.
Mark Hamill, I think you said.
Patrick Stewart came back to do another one called Steamboy that I really like. My kids really enjoyed that one. Yeah. Steamboy was really good. I wish they had done a sequel to that one.
But as far as the go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead. I was
gonna say, as far as the whole to wrap up the whole Orville thing, I think the reason people think that the fun has gone out of it, obviously, they're dealing with a little bit heavy dutier storyline now with after the way things were left in the last season, but two of them big characters that normally bring a lot of the laughter, I think, have been not gotten a lot of time to shine, and that's part of the other reason why it feels like the show is too serious.
But I want to point out,
because we haven't got a lot of Bordas and we haven't got a lot of Scott Grimes. I think that's the two reasons why.
Yeah, but I want to point out that you said dutier.
But no, I think that's pretty much the reason why we feel like it has been a little bit more dour than normal.
Yeah,
because those two characters haven't got a lot to do anything yet this year.
And we can also tell that they're bringing a little bit of Ronald D. Moore's Battlestar Galactica into this with these new ships, fighters. And because we're at war, the characters in what is it called? The United
Earth Alliance?
Union, that's it. They're at war now. And so we're going to see something a little more.
It's a little bit more serious storyline. But like I said, I kind of noticed that aspect of it watching the second episode. It's like, oh yeah, that's probably why. Because every time those two are in the show, that's when we have something funny happen. Like a great example is right away, and the first thing is, we have an important announcement to make. We're getting a pool table and thing or whatever Scott Grimes said. That made me giggle. And then the other one that really made me lose it was when she was talking about giving, basically putting out a virus or whatever. Right. He's like, it'd basically be like a common cold. He's like, well, what does that mean? You might get a case of the sniffles. I am prepared.
Hey, Gary.
Kingsport Cal, $5 super chat. Here's some cash to impress the lady. Nerd cookies, you got me $5. I also want to know Elaine's thoughts on being a woman in nerd culture dominated by men. Do people mess with you? And now I know the answer to that, but you go ahead, Elaine.
Now you just mansplained the hell out of that. Jeez.
No. I didn't explain anything.
I know. I stepped over
which
it
is
anyway.
usual, Gary.
Fuck you guys.
You man spread it over Elaine. So you...
No, but I happen to know something she's frustrated by. But go ahead.
No, I don't get like, as a whole, I really don't get any hate for being a nerd. As far as like, I get stupid comments every now and then, but I think they're just trolls, and I think everyone gets those things. I've never felt like I wasn't welcome, or that I wasn't valuable or didn't have anything valuable to contribute. As far as I'm just a nerd who likes nerdy things and wants to share lore and news about stuff, and I didn't feel like that was ever.
Well,
and we're all nerds at the end of the day.
I do want to point out one of the things they complain about is your voice, and it annoys me because I think you've got a great voice for doing this. I love your fucking videos.
I feel like everyone gets comments like that, though. If you're at it, I feel like everyone gets a comment that, oh, we hate
I don't,
you, or
but
hate
Keith
your voice.
does all
I
the
don't know.
time. People hate his voice.
And I think you could sound like, I don't know, like Butter or Michael Bublé, or whatever, have Andre's voice, and I think people would still find something.
Andre still, no, you're 100% right, Elaine, because Andre still gets comments like that. I can't even believe it. Sometimes they're like, why don't you get somebody to do these videos who can actually talk? It's like, Andre can speak better English than most of us can. Honestly, like he corrects me sometimes. It's like,
yeah, I don't think my experience is anything like different or special. As far as, I think we all are part of the same nerd fandom ish. We're all nerds at the end of the day, and if you're on the internet and you're in a public setting where people can leave comments,
right,
you'll likely get some troll or some who wants to just get under your skin and just make fun of you.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but the worst troll that we get on this show is Keith.
So yeah, I just try not to.
Around, but... Except me,
I think it's entertaining.
I'm not a troll.
I think in the beginning it did bother me a little bit, like, but I would get so many more good comments, and that kind of offset it.
And you know your value now, right?
Yeah,
your value.
Probably the ones that were irritating were just assuming that I don't like Dune, like, because I guess
your
that's a rare
knowledge
thing
of
for
Dune
women.
is amazing. No, those people can shut up. But hey, put it back up there, Martine. Put it back up there. Thank you.
But thank you for the question. I hope that
Kingsport Cal for your $5 super chat. You get this moment that I'm giving this just to you. This is from me to you.
You pompous, duck up, not English, giant, scumbag, face, dickhead, asshole.
That was just for you, buddy.
is it supposed to echo like that? Or
no, it's not.
Okay.
No.
You wouldn't believe how many videos I have in here. Martin knows and Keith knows. There's a ton of fucking videos in here.
I mean, somebody's not muting. It's not muting their system for some reason. I've had it happen a couple times.
Question. Well, actually, we had comics. What's his name from Canada? Comics. Oh my
Crusader?
God. Crusader. And he couldn't see anything we were sharing. Nothing we shared. It just was a little spinning pinwheel. I told him, I said, move to America where there's better internet.
No, that's
Leave
not true.
Canada.
That's not much better.
That's not for you. NordVPN.
You think it's bad now? Wait till that C11 passes. It's getting worse.
Exactly.
Wait till Brandon. Wait till Brandon starts charging us by the gallon for the internet.
Yeah, oh my God.
I'd also like to disclaimer here. I am not a troll. I am a memer. There's a difference. Troll is
memer. I'm not a troll.
I'm a memer.
All right. So Shinatsky's giving me another video. This one with better audio.
Is it in English audio or French?
It's David Lynch. So I don't know. God only knows what language he's going to speak in.
It's Lynchian.
It's black and white.
Dune, I didn't have Final Cut on. And it's the only film I've made that I didn't have. I didn't technically have Final Cut.
Is that Steven?
The Elephant Man.
Yeah.
But Mel Brooks.
It sounds like deleted scenes.
And on Dune.
Holy shit!
Subdued Lynch is Steven.
Telling me that.
It
Subdued
like
Lynch.
Scenes. Oh
it's
my
Steven.
God.
It's deleted Lynch, yes.
Holy
when he's not acting like a wackadoo, he sounds just like Steven.
You do have good internet. You're lying to all of us with all that porn
I
behind
sang
you.
Out, even in the script phase, knowing I didn't have Final Cut, and I sold out. So it was a slow dying the death and a terrible experience.
Do you regret making it?
Yes, except
oh shit,
it just nailed this idea: never ever do a film without final cut. And why would I have done it? I don't know how it happened. I trusted that it would work out, but it was very naive and the wrong move.
Question: how is deleted scenes throwing his voice like
It's
that?
a video. You can't ask questions.
We have a panel.
There's some things about it, but overall, it was squeezed because in those days, the maximum length they figured I could have is 2 hours and 17 minutes, and that's what the film is. So they wouldn't lose a screening a day. And so it's, again, money talking and not for the film at all. And so it was like compacted and it hurt it. It hurt it.
I mean, everyone's been talked for years about your version of it that does not exist.
No, it doesn't exist. There is no other version. There's more stuff, but even that is putrefied.
Oh my God, deleted scenes. You have to make an alt channel. Just call yourself Deleted Lynch.
Yeah, with that thing where you can add your lips and have David
Yeah.
Lynch's facade. You know,
Well, I don't know if you can compete with Lynch's own YouTube channel. That's the problem.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but Lynch has his own YouTube channel, and every day he does his local weather,
report,
and he gives you a number. He comes out and he's like, today's weather is mostly cloudy with a chance of rain, a high of 63 and a low of 52. Today's number is 6.
There is a possibility. What he needs to do is copy the viewpoint, have it side by side, and do exactly the same audio monologue, but not have Lynch talk. When he talks.
The
weather is 96 degrees of pornography on my bookshelf, and the number is F.
Dork Knight's mom, my phone got really hot, so I put it in the fridge, and I can still hear y'all.
That might work.
It's apparently actually working. She's doing it.
You could also just shut us off. I mean, there's that.
Yeah, it's ICE TV.
I don't know why PGO just loves listening to us. She gets such a kick out of it.
But I know Elaine and I have to check out here soon. But I know you were asking about the Ezra Miller business. Did you have a question about that, or did you want to?
No, I mean, we went on to it, and we could definitely talk about it real quick because basically the way I've put it is mission accomplished, you know, and yeah, he got that done. And I also, you know, said that fucking Deadline article was basically Hamada's obituary. And the ironic aspect, the most insulting part is he's not even mentioned in his own obituary. It's like, oh, yes, we're hiring someone new for DC to run DC. And Hamada's at his desk going, wait, what?
Why did he suddenly become Bill Clinton?
I'm pretty sure he knew the writing was on the wall in that respect.
Yeah, I do too. But here's the thing, and Andre brought it up too, and we talked about it with him, is that, look, he's got an Ezra Miller problem. He's got the Flash problem.
Yeah, that's
he's got a
become a new
Michael
problem.
Keaton problem. Because Michael Keaton was made promises with this film, you know? And if he chooses not to release it,
they're going to have to release it. There is no if and buts about it. This is what we talked about this morning, and this is the thing, is from what I've heard from my sources, and I don't know what Mikey's heard or what Andre really said all of earlier because I come in a little later into the show, but like basically Amber was the thing they were concentrated on now. They pushed the Flash off long enough that they were hoping people would forget about this Ezra Miller stuff, and that Michael Keaton back as Batman would be enough to sell this movie. A bomb was dropped though, and we're talking about a bomb that you cannot avoid. So, like, the Amber Heard situation's being dealt with. You guys talked about that with Andre, so you kind of have the 411 on that.
Right.
That's basically where they're at with that. They're kind of figuring out what they got to reconfigure with her. But Ezra has become a brand new problem because I said before it was one thing when he's just choking bitches and throwing chairs. Now he's actually being accused of grooming. And not only is he being accused of grooming, but the girl is said to have been groomed since the age of 12. Yeah. So we have a problem situation here where it doesn't matter anymore. Like, you have to get this kid out of this fucking movie because this movie has to be releasable. They have spent way too much money on it. As you said, they have too many promises made to Michael Keaton. Not only that, you have 2 performances of... Oh, shit. Elaine had to leave. You should have said something, man.
No, Elaine's still here.
No, Elaine's here.
Oh, okay. Somebody left. Who left?
I'm still here.
Viking.
Viking had to leave. Okay,
He probably
sorry.
just lost connection.
I just saw the thing boop out. Okay, so anyway, I just wanted to get this out of the way quick because I have to leave too. But like, so like basically where they're sitting now is they have to reshoot this movie because they have 2 performances of Michael Keaton as Batman already in the can, right? And they've already pushed this movie off a year. So I won't be surprised if they end up having to push it off another 6 months. They've already been trying to avoid the press getting out there that they're looking at recasting the character already, but that was for future performances, right?
Yep.
They didn't want that getting out there before this movie came out because they wanted this movie to get out there, get it done and over with, fall flat on its face if that's what's going to do, but at least establishes Michael Keaton in the universe so they can move forward.
Yep.
Now they have a problem because you have a character who's in the movie as 3 different versions of this character.
Ezra, right.
So they're going to have to Back to the Future this thing, and it's going to be an insurmountable...
You're probably looking at least another 100 million.
Probably. You're going to basically reshoot the movie for the 3rd time.
Can I throw a little quick screenshot of knowledge? I don't know if you've gotten this, Tom. I shared it with Gary because people, like I said,
I was going to ask you something about this. Actually, I don't know if this is what it's about, Steven, but like, is the girl that these parents are talking about, is that the same one that you were reporting on a couple weeks ago?
No, that thing is dropped dead.
Totally different. Okay.
If Gary wants to share this, because she was part of Negative Ghostwriter, she was on the album that released songs, but this has been sent to me, and I'm gonna share it right now. Think of it as like kind of like exclusive.
Share it in the chat, and I'll share it.
No, it's literally shared at the bottom.
Oh.
And this is the person's father of the supposed groomed. That's why there's kind of a hearsay going on because Iron Eyes isn't the biggest innocent person out there with this whole thing coming down. And from what I've been told is that he first got rejected by Business Insider, which we covered on Shit Talk. And once they rejected this, they went to TMZ, and we all know how TMZ is with the scumbag story. And it seems that this might be another slander thing against Ezra in general, as part of like they want control over Tokata, whatever, I can't say her name, the girl in question, like the way Britney Spears' dad has been controlling Britney until most recently.
That could be.
There's more going on, and I've been given a whole bunch of stuff. I've been given a bunch of stuff, especially a timeline, because the protests that were going on, there were a lot of celebrities there. There's pictures of this girl with Greta Thunberg, with Mark Ruffalo, all that stuff.
Oh,
so
for fuck's sake.
Well, you have another problem though, Stephen, and that could be
history.
the case.
That's his history. Yeah.
The problem now is this shit hit deadline. Like, it's no longer in TMZ. It's no longer anything else. It doesn't matter who the fucking parents is. It sadly doesn't even really fucking matter who the girl is at this point. I hate saying it that way. All that matters is that these accusations have now hit the mainstream Hollywood media.
Yeah, it's in
which
People
means
magazine.
they cannot fucking avoid it. Which means they have to do something about it. Doesn't matter how the outcome comes. The fact that those accusations are out
Ezra's
there,
burnt. Yeah, Ezra's burnt,
he's done.
no matter what.
He's done. This is it.
No, I'm
There's
not
no
denying
more.
that. I'm not-
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I'm
but
not
you're right.
denying
Like,
that at all.
because there's people. No, but Steven, you got a point because there's people bringing up the parents, and I said, yeah, likely the parents. Somebody should be asking why the fuck would you be allowing your
Especially when they're
12-year-old or
friends of the
14-year-old
family, and there's actual
Yeah.
pictures of them at restaurants, which I also have. And they're
So that needs to be addressed, but in this case, when it comes to Warner's decision, that has fucking fuck all to do with anything.
Ezra's gone no matter what because he's a $200 million libel
Asset, yeah, or a liability instead of an asset,
You don't
yeah.
want to piss off Keaton either, and that's what seems to be happening now. So
And
no
that's
matter
kinda
what-
where
That's
we're
just
sitting,
it, because
yeah.
we weren't allowed for like a week to talk about the other person that was pissed, and the other person pissed over this shit was Michael Keaton, because this was his comeback. He was made promises that this was his comeback into DC, and really in a lot of ways his career too.
Well, I look at it this way. There is a way out of this, okay? It might involve spending more money, but I think ultimately what it is it's going to just be a massive rethink. I think this is going to be able to draw in someone like The Rock. You're going to need someone like him and his people with what he's trying to do with the Justice Society and those characters, and how he originally wanted to go with all of that, and being stopped by Walter Hamada. Because I think we learned that there was a character that he had originally wanted to use that he was stopped from using. And it shows how far that The Rock is really invested in all these characters. I think there's a way out of this if you are willing to work through it. That you really don't have to spend a lot of money, but it's going to require some knowledge and time. Now, that last part is the real crux. Time.
They're running
because you've got a film that is finished, basically. And so now, as we've learned because of the coup last year, you can't really set a film down and let it sit because it's costing you money sitting there. So the real big thing is, do you put it in theaters or do you blast it off to HBO Max?
They can't afford that, though, unfortunately.
That's the thing. They can't afford that.
There is another solution. You take $100 million, you build a time machine, and you send a robot back in time.
No, you're at this point. It doesn't matter. The Shinatsuka, that's funny, but the thing is, we've seen enough allegations about Ezra Miller and videos coming out over the time. Let's say since the beginning of the year, whether it be the choking, whether it be the two arrests, the chair incident, and all this stuff. He is already slandered to the point where no one cares. The thing is, even if like what I'm talking about even matter, it doesn't matter anymore because the court of public opinion and the court of the monetary opinion, which in this case is Warner Bros. Discovery and Zaslav because of his rage, it's done. He's gone. The problem is they're trying to come out with this film in the best way possible. They can make back at least some of the money or at least half, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm getting to.
Happy
Yeah.
if they broke even, yeah.
But you know, and we know this because look at, and to get it back to Dune, look at how Dune suffered by getting thrown on HBO Max the way it did to get Elaine back into the conversation so she can have her graceful exit along with me. But yeah, like look at how that suffered. I mean, we can only hope that the sequel does 3, 4, 5 times as good in the theaters. Otherwise, I don't know how much farther this franchise is going to go.
I think Dune 2 is going to do way more than
I
it
think
did.
so.
And
I think so too.
It's so much more, I think, cinematic and climactic. I think the latter half of the novel, there's a ton of stuff happening. I feel like it's going to draw a lot more people in. We riding the sandworms. Come on.
Well,
and you got the Walken factor. I mean,
I think it's going to do way more than the Joker sequel will. Personally.
No, is that for sure happening?
Terrible idea.
Oh yeah, that's been for sure for a while, but now Zaslav fast tracked it.
Joker
Yeah,
2
even-
is happening because Joker 1 is the most profitable movie I think ever. Like times budget for what they spent to it, or it's in like the
As
top
far as
10.
studio films, I believe you're right, Shinatsky.
Yeah, because also what's up there is the that movie where they took the cameras into the woods.
Yeah, Blair Witch Project. and
They spent
some of the
$10,000. Made
I was going to say,
millions.
actually, some of the Paranormal Activity and some of those kind of movies are actually the most profitable by how much they cost per. Because I actually did a video on that years ago.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's definitely like in the top 10. Either way, it's for what they spend for what they get.
Yeah, it was like 30 million and they made $1 billion, so that's all that matters.
And I do want to say something about that movie, the one where they go in the woods, Blair Witch.
Blair Witch.
They bought the camera, shot the movie, or cameras, shot the movie, and then returned the cameras. So that really cut their budget.
That's ingenious.
Oh
yeah, I mean, you're right. That part where they're bitching in the beginning about they only have so many days because they got to get the equipment back, that was legit.
Yeah, it was right there in the movie.
And I still wonder where they spent $100,000 on that fucking movie. So
I
I'm
don't
watching
know.
Clerks and I'm going, Kevin Smith did this for $18,000, and they spent
Sold his
$100,000.
comic book
yeah.
collection to make that movie.
I don't know where they spent the money.
Don't worry. Masters of the Universe Revolution is coming, Tom.
Revolution.
Nerd Cookie.
I cannot wait.
Get that.
That makes one of us.
Elaine.
That's just me
Hello,
trolling Tom.
Elaine. Elaine, are you still with us, Elaine?
She doesn't know
Yeah,
why.
sorry I have to head out so soon.
No, and I wanted to, before you leave, just some final thoughts on what you expect from Dune 2 that you think we should be looking forward to.
Well, I think Denny has done a great job with Doom Part 1. He says there'll be more more Harkonnen stuff and more Mentat stuff. So he said this was kind of like setting the stage, and so I'm hoping for more of like that this universe will be more expanded, not fleshed out. So I think the first one did its job, and then the second one will hopefully like be for for the Dune fans also to get more of this universe fleshed out and all those details. So I'm excited for that. And they do have a lot. They do. But I think Denis sticking with like the main themes, the crux of the Paul Atreides story, I think that has served him well so far. And if that's like, I think that's going to continue going forward. And I think it could be very successful like that. It's going to be way more cinematic, more
Do we have a
more
fight yet,
action.
Fade? Do
I'm
we
sorry,
have
what?
a fade yet? Do we have casting on that?
Yeah,
haven't
Austin
announced.
Butler.
Yeah. Austin Butler?
Austin
So
Butler.
I just did a video on this, and he did an interview because he's promoting Elvis.
Yeah.
He did. So this is my most
Because I
recent
know
Dune
he was
news.
in negotiations. I didn't know they closed the deal. What do you think of him as Fade?
Well, I'm not sure. I haven't seen much of him. I know he was in Once Upon a Time in Mexico, and people really like that.
Hollywood. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing him in Elvis. I don't know. He seems.
That's right. He plays Elvis.
I don't know if they're gonna have him
Batman
bald
Forever.
though, because I never liked that for Fade to begin with. But they might probably have him bald, but I don't know if I like that. But we'll see.
I want something better than what we got with Sting. I don't want to say that Sting can't act, but he can act, and
Mhm.
I would like to have somebody in there that really feels menacing.
No, Gary. He really, 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 really can't act.
No, he can't. I know.
There is one thing.
And I'm a Sting fan.
I was really one thing I want to say quickly, and that is to Nerd Cookies, Elaine herself. Thank you for actually coming on and dealing with us and giving us a show with content.
Well,
I got to
thank you
tell
for
you,
inviting
Elaine.
me.
I don't know how you put up with this, but you're awesome.
She's known me for
you're a
2 years,
great
so.
guest. You really are a great guest, and
Oh,
I need to have you on more often because you are fun.
Aw, y'all are so sweet. I don't
yeah,
feel
we're
like I'm
okay.
really good like in this like environment like live stream. I haven't live streamed very often lately, and I feel like I'm a bit
You'll
rusty
get
at it.
used to it. You'll get used to it. It's
Yeah.
fun actually doing it. There's something exciting about doing live streams.
Especially
We
when
didn't
you
do it for
swear.
2 years. 2 years we didn't do it, and it was only until this last year we started going live.
Yep.
And
But
I won't
always
go
happy
back.
to talk about Dune and well, whatever.
It's fucking awesome.
Do you know much about Blade Runner?
No, I'm sorry.
Go
not
watch
one
the
that
fucking
really-
movies, all 3 major versions. I want you to write an essay and then do a show about it, and then join us on the 25th. For our
Okay.
Thank
Blade
you,
Runner
Elaine, for
celebration.
being here. Do not believe what he's saying. He's all on.
Thank you,
dog
Elaine.
treats.
Well, thanks
yeah,
again.
you were
Elaine.
great.
It was
Thanks a
nice
lot.
meeting you, Elaine.
I'll message you later about other stuff, but thanks for coming on. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you.
We'll
Of
have all our
course.
apologies emailed to you.
You take care.
Well, everyone have a good one, and
You too.
everyone in the chat, thank you. I saw your comments, and thank you all so much for the
And start
nice
making some
comments and support.
nerd biscuits. You need to make nerd biscuits.
May the spice be with you.
Yes.
May the spice
It was a
flow
pleasure.
with you. All right, bye.
Take care.
Bye.
All right,
you know,
Tom.
I
where's
too
Tom?
am gonna
Hold on, I gotta
exit.
get
Yeah,
Tom
he's right
up here.
there.
Tom, thank you for your
Tom
time here.
Has
as well.
bald
You've been
guy
a great
stuff to
guest.
do.
I do
And-
have a lot of bald guy stuff to do. I got to massage it and stroke
gotta
it.
rub
Tom's a
his-
replicant.
In the
Now,
name
you
of
weren't
all
here
that's
earlier. I
weird.
talked about when Chris Walken was on Conan O'Brien. This is back about 20 years ago. And, O'Brien asked him, says, how do you get your hair so healthy and up like that? And he goes, every night before I go to bed, I grab clumps of it and I pull it. And I just keep doing that. And I do that. And he's doing it live on TV, showing what he does. He says, and it keeps the roots healthy and growing. And I'm like, this is the weirdest fucking thing I've ever seen. Whoever heard of that? That's fucking funny.
I wish I had thought of that 20 years ago.
Yeah. See, you should have watched it.
Voice.
But
And-
Tom, I want to thank you. Yeah, fuck you, Matt. I
before
told
you
you
go-
he was giving me shit about it.
Before you go, Tom, though, if you have free time, actually,
That's
you want
funny.
to go over the Ezra stuff that I've been sent, and even Gary can join in too, Keith as well. Do you actually want to go through that and see if we can do something with that?
Sure. Yeah, hit me up, man.
I love it when he mumbles quickly.
Tom, would you like to go over the Ezra stuff that people have been sending me from an underground PR team
Dear
to show
sweet
what's
baby
going on
Jesus,
in the
that's
other
so loud.
side?
I know, it's so great. Tom,
Coming
thanks
from
a
you,
lot, buddy.
Dork?
I
Coming
mean
from
it,
you?
man. Tom, thanks for coming on, buddy. I appreciate it. You guys are always some of the... No, jump back on camera, man. I love looking at that head
I
of
like
yours.
looking at that head of yours. Yeah.
I do.
Nobody wants to see
We all want to see that head of yours,
I want
buddy.
to bounce on that.
Not to mention, I love the
You
glasses.
just want to see the dog. That's what you want
It's
to see.
the
Oh,
summer
your
of
doggy's
Tom.
there.
Yeah, she's
I want to
sleeping.
see Tom.
Oh, that is awesome.
She's sleeping. She's
What are we
tired.
without our dogs, man?
She's probably thinking the same thing I am. And nap sounds good right about now.
Nap sounds good. But I got to tell you, Tom, I deeply appreciate it. I know you got some editing to do, and Andres wants to finish a video. But look, man, anytime you drop in, man, you're such an important person in my life. I appreciate you coming in here.
No, I love tolerating you guys. It's always fun.
That's great. Tolerate. Sounds like a date. That's great.
You're a very good
Oh,
friend, man.
sorry,
And
Andre.
I love you
and
guys.
I love you, buddy.
Thanks,
all
Tom.
right, man. Get the fuck out of here.
Shanatsky was saying something, I think.
Oh, I said, so you tolerate Andre? Is that it, Tom? You tolerate Jim the boss?
No, Andre's the
No.
boss.
No, I love Andre. When Andre says, I do. That's for sure.
Amen to that.
But yes, thank you for having me as always. Take care of yourself, guys.
Take care, Tom.
Peace
Later,
out.
buddy.
Take care, Tom.
Bye. So there we are. We're at the end of an episode, 2 hours in, and I got to be honest, man. You've already got your money shot. There's no reason to keep. It's just fucking with nowhere to go at this point.
Well, I will say this: Austin Butler, besides being Elvis, he did do that Shannara television series, and he was pretty good in that.
I didn't watch it. Wasn't interested because I knew they were going to fuck it up.
I think if you're someone that comes into anything with Denzel Washington giving you major props going into it, which is what he had for Elvis, I think you got something going on. It definitely proves you're talented. I believe this young man is very talented, and I can't wait to see
I don't know
him.
who's talking right now because I got to tell you, man, the only Keith I know is Judgmental Keith. Put Judgmental Keith back on there. Judgy Keith. Talking all nice and shit.
Well, with Fat Steven, you don't want to get him started.
Yeah, because I'm just a troll.
Uh-oh. I got to find the video now that you said it. I got to play
You know
it
why
every
they
time
call her
someone says it.
Whoopi, right? Because she farts like crazy.
Don't get me started. Don't even get me started.
There we go. And of course, the only person that can authenticate that photograph that Fat Steven was is Fat Steven. He's seen me topless. Mm-hmm.
My God, can we stop going back to that
No.
nightmare?
You post that picture, I'm gonna fucking bring it up.
You know the only problem with Dune?
Which
Not
Dune?
gay enough. All of them.
Oh, all of them. I didn't hear that.
Not gay enough. Dune is not gay enough.
Oh yes. Well, look, man. I don't know who posted that picture of the gay pride burger promo for Burger King, and I said, "Hey, man, I've had that burger, and it's not gay enough. I don't think you should be proud of that. I think you should be far more gay. I think that if you're going to eat a burger from Burger King that's gay pride, you should be choking a little bit while you're swallowing it.
Needs plenty of white hot sauce.
White hot sauce."
You know why Dork Knight is shaking his head right now? She's like, "Hi, Mom." Fuck.
No, thank God she's already left. She said goodbye to
think
everybody.
so?
I'm gay for this show.
Yeah.
And I want to tell everybody, we at Pop Culture Minefield support every lifestyle. We just don't support you telling us what we get to say and don't say.
I don't
That's
agree.
it.
But don't say that.
So it needs more mayo.
How can you be
Needs more
offended by
mayo.
saying things
Yeah,
need to be more gay? How can anyone have a problem with that?
What's his name?
supporting it. I'm
Virtual
saying
Renegade
things need to be gayer.
said that too. He says it needs more mayo.
Virtual Renegade?
Whatever. I forgot his first name.
Valiant?
Yeah, Valiant. Oh, Steve had to go.
That's right. I had to go with no power within me. I had to go.
Damn it! What happened?
So,
change my name to Yeti at this point because he misses him so much.
So you know, Vader was giving us grief.
Gary, Steven, and Keith. So I really prefer to have you on the top row, buddy. But when we have guests on, you get bumped down a little bit, and I apologize. Dork, I was making a statement, but you go right ahead. What you were going to say?
Oh, I think it's funny that Vader made the little joke about this being the secret Orville shill club when he holds when every Saturday at 10 a.m. Pacific time he has the Strange New Worlds shill club meeting.
That's what we all do.
Yeah.
And in fact, I wanted to talk about it here with Steven before we end the show, is that I would like to do every episode of our shit talk should be about the latest episodes of Stranger Things, or simply going over episode by episode. Strange New Worlds, we can go, I don't want to do Obi-Wan, but I wouldn't mind talking about some of the other new shows that are popping up. What were some of the new ones that popped up this week?
Boys,
Orville,
episode 4.
Orville.
Orville, yeah.
Orville and The Boys, that's it. I think if we cover those 4 shows, we'll have 3 good shows and 1 show that's kind of okay that we can make fun of, which is strange.
As long as I host every show, I'm happy with it. It's less work for you.
Yeah, and like I said on our show, Shit Talk, 1 week on Pop Culture Minefield's channel and the next week on Fat Stevens. Remember to keep up. I will promote the crap out of it. And again, with this show, if you guys enjoyed it, make sure to like, share, and more importantly, please leave a comment down below. Tell us what you liked about the episode. And if there are other stuff that you want us to cover on our channel, man, on our TGIF show or on Saturday morning fun time, let us know. And the best way to get a hold of us, I read every comment and I respond to every comment. No, it's not Keith. Keith doesn't know how to log into my YouTube account. I don't know why. So it's just me.
Gary, we forgot a most important thing. I would like to personally thank the middle square, David Lynch, for being here today. Whether or not you're discerning there's porn in the back or not.
I knew there was something going on with you, dude, that you weren't who you said you were, David Lynch.
You sound like David Lynch, mofo. You should be propping that up. Being like,
deny it, Steven. Deny it.
Denied scenes?
You know,
See? David Lynch.
Look at he's all flustered. Look at him. He's a big teddy.
I used to get mistaken for Christian Slater quite a bit. But
really,
I guess back in like the 80s and 90s, yeah.
Oh, back when you used to hang out with crackheads and dope fiends.
The Seeing Eye Dog community, was that it?
I seriously think we could do a great bunch of skits where it's like David Lynch talks
when he was
about
younger, man. He sounded like
another
Jack Nicholson.
No, I ain't touching that. No, I ain't touching that at all.
Look, I actually do want to have Cameron on because he loves the show.
That'll do. With Cameron,
he has something invested in this, and so I was wanting to have Cameron back on to talk about it. I'm not gonna. It's not my kind of show. It's not something I'm interested in.
No, like honestly, if Cameron's there, he actually has this ability to make you open your eyes and actually see things from different perspectives, especially if you're not of, like, let's say, that religion or that part of the world or culture, and that's why you can start to see another aspect of enjoying or respecting something.
Well, it's just it.
But when you're seeing a Disney Plus title, Gary, you don't want to look at it.
Well, no, because I'm not interested in it. After they multiple times
Moon Knight,
they have did the bait and switch with us, and I'm done. And I said I was done, and I fucking meant it. I'm done with Disney Marvel. I'm not interested in watching any of their fucking shows. I will watch one show from Star Wars from them, which is Mandalorian. But I'm not even sure I want to watch this new season because Gina's not in it. And I'm not happy with some of the directions they've chosen to go. But I'm going to check it out, but everything else can go fuck itself. Not going to watch anything else from Marvel on Disney Plus. I'll watch movies, and that's it. So, but with that said, do I have my list? Did you get my list?
Yes, you have.
Where's it at? I don't see it.
I don't think it's the Arrow Lantern.
Good things come to whom waits.
Oh, you haven't pasted it yet. Okay, I was afraid I'd missed it. All right, so I want to thank our chat. You guys are always amazing. Awesome one. Thanks for showing up, buddy. Bill Barkley, great questions. Even though we didn't get to interact with you the way we normally do, this is a busy episode. I was reading a lot of what you guys were saying. Great conversation. Once again, Bill Barkley, CJ Batpunk, always good to hear from you, man. My buddy Chris at Christopher Moonlight Productions, Das Wolfen, Destiny Captain. G-Shock is new. I've never met G-Shock before. Nor have I met Hustler 3 of 4 Culture 3. Good to see you guys. Thanks for dropping in. Courtney was here. I didn't get to interact with her. I love Court. She's a great person. Kingsport Cal, I did get to interact with you, motherfucker. Lord Thoth was here. What a great guy. Matt Vader, of course. Fuck you, Matt Vader. I love you, buddy. Midnight's Edge After Dark. That was Tom. And, of course, Mr. Angel had some great statements and comments. Looking forward to see more of you, Mr. Angel. It'll be great to see you. Of course, our version of Norm is Mr. Tickletrunk. He was here. We had, what did you do? Oh, you did that. It's Parrot Head. You wrote it as Paroy. That really threw me. I'm like, Paroy? What did you do? Oh, wait. It's just a typo. Gotcha. Penny, of course, was here. That is my buddy Dork Knight's mom. And Ready 5 Golf was here. Now, Red 5 Golf. I've seen them before. I don't think on our channel. I think I've seen them elsewhere. The Comic Relief Crusader was here, who was also on our show earlier. The Peter Venkman fan site. And, of course, War Monkey, one of my 2 favorite monkeys. And that is it. That is all we have listed here. Thanks for showing up, guys. Thanks for the super chats. Thanks for being so awesome. And also, I want to thank the guys on the show. I want to thank, first of all, Nerd Cookies for really having the guts to show up with us. What a great, I love her channel. If you guys don't watch her, what the fuck, man? She puts out some of the best informative videos. The only person that's as good as her is Andre when it comes to putting out videos that are educational about movies and books and stuff. Man.
Yeah. Let's hear it.
You walk away learning something having watched any of their videos. I want to thank, of course, Tom and Andre for being here. If it weren't for them, we wouldn't be here because we are the illegitimate sons of Midnight's Edge, Doomcock, and Nerdrotic. And they're the 3 shows that made us think, we could fucking do something. We could talk into a camera. Well, I thought Keith could. And then I would sit behind the camera and direct, but Keith's a puss. He wouldn't do it.
Well, whatever helps you sleep at night, bitch.
And so our show began. And there you have it. I want to say thanks to Fat Steven Scala, our 3rd host on this show on TGIF.
Thank you for the promotion.
And you guys down below here, Martin, who is the manager of our chat.
Thank you,
Stephen, a.k.a. Deleted Scenes, a.k.a. David Lynch. Dork Knightley, who lives in Las Vegas.
Boo.
Is someone trying to kill flies?
And Shanatsky, because I'm always trying to keep an eye on you, just like Snake Plissken with one eye.
If you can believe, deleted scenes.
Sheer fucking hubris.
I want to
What's
thank you
happened?
guys for being on the show today. It was a great show. I hope we made Nerd Cookies feel welcome because she is awesome. I half the reason why I let us cut up a little bit before the show start was just so she'd feel welcome. You know, get the idea that we're here to have fun. We're not just here to like put her on the spot. And
she was good, yo.
She was very good.
I got a question. Delete it. Will we get a Twin Peaks season 4?
The hell?
I don't even know how to answer that. Of course! Yeah, it's going to be your own headcanon.
And like that, Steven had to go.
What the hell did I do?
No, other Steven. Real Steven. So I want to thank everybody in the chat. What a great show today. I hate ending it, but God damn it, I want to go eat. I haven't eaten in a while, and my dog wants to be walked. Daddy, walk me. Oh. And like I said to Tom, what are we without our dogs or our pets? Man, my dog makes my life so happy. My daughter, such a disappointment, leaving me, moving on, having a life of her own. I had to get a dog.
Wow.
Nah, I get it.
So, parents understand. People who have raised kids understand what I'm talking about, because it really does. You get this, what I've referred to as spiritual phantom limb pain when your kids leave, or and even in a breakup, you feel that disconnect, and it feels physical. And when my daughter's not around, or I don't hear from her for a few days, I get a little bummed out about it. But I've got this little girl. She's always making me feel happy. Yes, she is. She's such a sweetie, and she loves her dad. She likes to always be in contact with me, and which helps with my PTSD too. So, but I want to thank everybody. Destiny's Cabin showed up last second. No, they were here. No, never mind. Fuck you. I knew you were here. Time is fire in which we burn.
Dr. Soren.
Time is the fire. It's also a famous poem from the 1800s. Yep. Time is the fire in which man burns. Time is the fire in which we learn. And classic poem.
Yep.
Yep. And what was that? Yes, you get it. Any of us that were parents and have animals, we get it. But with that, let's get the hell out of here, guys. I'm sure everybody wants to go do something else.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to get the outro credits here set up. Outro credits for Scoop Zone. No, I don't want that. Nope, that's Scoop Zone. Nope, that's coffee. That's coffee. Where's it at?
You everyone else enjoying this self-promotion he's doing without even doing it? It's great.
That's shit talk. There it is. Found it. There's so many videos in here. Seriously, ask Martin. He'll tell you.
I've seen it. It's a nightmare.
I like it when Martin says it, though, because Martin has a really cool fake Mexican accent.
He's Venezuelan now, isn't he?
Shh. With that, we're the fuck out of here. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. We love your comments, and I will respond to every one of them. And Keith, you want to say the words?
Get off our lawn.
Hey guys, thanks for watching Pop Culture Minefield. If you've enjoyed the show, please make sure to like, subscribe, and don't forget to click the bell icon for updates on our shows and channel. Also, please leave a comment, and we'd like to know what you thought of the episode, as well as letting us know if there's something you'd like us to cover in a future episode. Don't forget that you can become a member of Pop Culture Minefield now. Make sure to visit our membership page and merch store at popcultureminefield.com. You can always find Pop Culture Minefield on Twitter
and Black
Facebook,
Guy merch,
Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch.
Or BBC. Black Guy Comics.
Yeah, Black Guy Comics.
That's BGC.
Issue 22 coming soon.
It's BBC, Big Black Comics.
Yeah, Big Black Comics.
I don't want to say it big.
Black Busty.
Get out of now.
Yeah.
Big Black Comics.
Yeah.
Y'all come back now, you hear?